Welcome to the Boulevard on SMU's campus, where there is a new buzz around here as the Mustangs are ranked for the first time since 1986. And I'm joined with a guy who's seen it all through the highs and the lows. Superfan Paul Lane, this is your 513th consecutive game here at SMU. How is the buzz different today?
Oh, the buzz is much different. We're lucky. We've got a really great coaching staff with Coach Dykes and all of his staff. And you can just feel it's just totally different. And plus, my phone's been blowing up all week. People wanting tickets or so they want to come to the game now. We're in the top 25, so it's very exciting. It's a great time to be a Mustang.
Well, Paul has not ever hopped off the bandwagon through the highs and the lows, but Anish, it seems like a lot more jumping back on.
Chris, as you can hear behind me, the bandwagon is starting to fill up again. SMU is 5-0 for the first time since 1983.
Wow.
They're ranked for the first time since the death penalty. The buzz, it's palpable.
Well, this gives you memories of Mustang Mania, and the reality is they deserve this attention. But Coach Dykes told us yesterday, in order for them to be fully back, this team has to win a game like today versus the opponent they're taking on. Tulsa last year, with an opportunity for them to go to a bowl game, out-physicaled them. Today they can make that right, and they can make this crowd proud of them by their efforts and coming away with the W.
Electricity pregame. Let's see if it translates to opening kickoff. Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. SMU gallops into the night, playing its first game as a ranked team since October 25th, 1986. That was the day a ground ball went through Bill Buckner's legs. It's the Mustangs and Tulsa. A year ago, the Golden Hurricane ended the Mustangs' chance at the postseason with a win in the regular season finale. Sonny Dykes told us the ranking is bittersweet. He hopes his team can stay focused with all the national buzz building around SMU. Philip Montgomery coming back home to Dallas, 47 years old. He told us a lot of calls, a lot of emails this week, and he had to go out of pocket for tickets. The dangerous C.J. Sanders for SMU. Hurdles a couple of defenders, turns the corner, and a tripped up shy of the 25-yard line. SMU's offense averaging more than 40 points per game. They're 5-0, and they're led by the Texas transfer, Shane Buechele, a graduate transfer. He came to the Hilltop with 2 years of eligibility. He's leading the American Conference in yards. The deep ball is something they really like about Buechele and what he can bring to the table. On first down, the give is to Xavier Jones, who is tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Trevis Gibson, a standout D lineman for Tulsa. Second down.
And I think the key to the game today, Anish, for me, will be how this defensive line can manufacture negative plays versus a rushing attack that's very good and dominant.
Buechele wrapped up in the backfield, diamond cannon. And Tulsa's defense, which is its strength, forces a third and long.
This is outstanding, and it's just a great job of staying home there by Cannon. He's just not fooled. And Shane Buechele has run the best that I've seen him run in his entire career. And because of that, Cannon was waiting on it and makes a big negative play. And now you put him in a third and long situation where they open up the field. And Tulsa with an opportunity here to go 3 and out as they come to a check with me play. In situations like this, when you've got two excellent targets on the outside, you know that Proche or Robertson could get the ball.
He'll run. It's Jones looking for running room. And he is across the 25, well shy of the marker. Brandon Johnson the stop. And 3 and out goes SMU.
That's just an outstanding start if you're the Golden Hurricanes, because here's what it tells you, is that when you have one of the most dominant offenses in the country in terms of scoring points, getting the ball downfield, they're making them work for it. And that's exactly what you would expect from this defense, where it's a 3-3-5 stack. They want to keep everything in front and make you work hard to get yardage.
Denbo, who's a safety, will punt. He's been punting the last few weeks, and it's the rugby-style kick that usually can't be returned. A 35-yard punt, and Tulsa will take over. They have a transfer at quarterback. Zach Smith, like Buechele, began his career in the Big 12. He was an ESPN 300 recruit coming out of high school. Philip Montgomery recruited him to Baylor. He signed with Baylor. Montgomery by then had left for Tulsa. And Smith joined the Golden Hurricane a season ago, sat out per NCAA rules, and he's really upgraded the quarterback position for this team, which was really average to below average the last 2 years.
And where he's really going to have to step his game up today is in his pocket mobility as he's taking on a team that racks up the sacks.
Smith throwing to the sideline. He's got Keenan Johnson, who's taken down after a gain of 11 and a first down. Rodney Clemens, the stop.
That's what he's good at right there. You know, he'll sit back in that pocket that time there, showing off his arm strength as well, his patience, going through his progression, finding the target on the outside, and on their first play, they managed to get a first down.
Using tempo. And Shamari Brooks tackled after a short gain. You mentioned SMU's pass rush and the ability to get to the quarterback. The game within the game when Tulsa has the ball is in the trenches. Tulsa has had trouble protecting the quarterback. They've given up 16 sacks, 7th most in the nation entering this week. The Mustangs lead the nation in sacks. And Brooks tackled by Richard McBride, the Auburn transfer. It'll bring up third down.
Yeah, Anish, you just said it. You talked about their ability to get to the quarterback. And not only just to get to the quarterback, but those quarterback hurries and pressure is added into that. This is where they like to do it. I thought what was interesting last week, you go back and look at their 10 sacks, 7 of those came on a 4-man rush, and they dropped numbers back and still managed to get to the quarterback. That is something that has worked for them. When they like to go to that, they like to run games up front, twist, stunts, anything to get those defensive linemen and those linebackers free.
Play clock at 4. There's the twist. Smith throws. It's caught shy of the marker. Sam Crawford, who's had a breakout season with the catch, and it's 4th down.
That's just, after giving up that first play to the outside, they came back and just shut him out. That was excellent tackling. And as you mentioned, even the pressure there once again on a 4-man rush. They get an interior twist and still manage to make that quarterback get the ball out of his hands, despite there being 4 rushers and 5 offensive linemen to block.
This is the best defense SMU has had in years. Proche back deep for the Mustangs, and to kick it away, Thomas Bennett, whose father, Darren, was an all-pro punter for years in the NFL, one of the best during his time. And this one skips into the end zone, a touchback. It will be SMU ball from its own 20. Fans still filing in. Gerald J. Ford Stadium, Mustangs ranked for the first time since '86. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Anish Shroff, Ahmad Brooks, Chris Budden down on the field. SMU and Tulsa both went scoreless on their opening drives. Mustang ball from the 20-yard line. And their quarterback, Shane Buechele, one of 31 transfers on this team. 20 of them are from the state of Texas, including Buechele.
He's definitely the guy. And Shane Buechele has really stabilized his team offensively at the quarterback position, but he's also brought with him a wealth of leadership skills that has impacted his teammates.
Buechele started every game as a true freshman at Texas. Lost his job last year to Sam Ehlinger. And Jackson Player looks like he may have jumped, or was he drawn off sides?
It's 5-yard penalty. First down.
A penalty is on Player, a first-year starter from Waco, Texas. Tulsa averaging 11 penalties per game. They're the most penalized team in the country. They had 17 against Oklahoma State. Kamen Freeman will throw it downfield. Proche goes up and unable to hang on. The ball was hanging on his back. Brandon Johnson on the coverage. James Proche can get it with the best of them, just couldn't high point that one. Freeman, a high school quarterback, got to show off his arm.
If he would have set his feet here, he would have made a throw and this would have been a touchdown. But he tried the old jump pass, and that always takes away some of the oomph and the RPMs on your throw.
On 2nd down and 5, Freeman again. And bullies his way for a first down. I thought it was interesting that SMU took that shot down the field after the offsides penalty. Against this defense, you don't have many opportunities for big plays. They want you to drive the field and dink and dunk. And Rhett Lashley, the offensive coordinator for SMU, said that would be part of the challenge for the Mustangs. This is Freeman again. He's been their short yardage guy. A pickup of 5 and into the embrace of Cooper Edmiston, leading tackler and a tackling machine for Tulsa.
Despite Xavier Jones being one of the top guys of producing touchdowns, they've done it by a 3-man committee with Freeman and McDaniel.
Freeman again, and Cannon wraps him up in the backfield. Shamari Robertson was there as well, and it's 3rd down.
And one thing, when you watch Tulsa on tape, and even our game day crew, our colleagues talked about it today, that this is why they gave Tulsa a shot in this game, is that they are persistent at the line of scrimmage. I mean, these are guys that you're not going to see them have a lot of loafs. They're going to run to the football, and they'll need to do it here as SMU lines up 4 wide receivers in the shotgun trying to get a converted 3rd down.
4-man pressure. Buechele gets rid of it quickly, incomplete in the direction of Reggie Robertson, and he was covered by Allie Green, the junior out of Austin.
That was a misfire. If you're Buechele, you had what you were looking for in the route from Robertson on the outside. You'll see that he has space. There's a window on the outside. It was just out of the reach of the wide receiver. Now, Robertson probably could have done a nicer job of getting around a little bit more quicker to see the ball, but Buechele misfires there.
Denbo to punt it again. There's that rugby-style punt. And it rolls inside the 25. The hope for SMU is that one of those punts hits a retreating player from the opposing team. Didn't happen there, but it was close.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
You start driving around the area and you will see born and raised billboard campaigns spotlighting the homegrown SMU players. They'll have their billboards in their various hometowns. It's the brainchild of the football creative staff. And for Sonny Dykes, there is a concerted effort now to brand SMU as Dallas's team. And he told us, hey, SMU doesn't have to be your favorite team. But if you're a local, a transplant, you've got another team, this can be your hometown team.
That's just a brilliant job of building the brand back to what it used to be back in the early 80s.
Zach Smith to the air, and he finds Josh Johnson, the Iowa State transfer, and it looks like Johnson has it up for a first down.
One thing I've noticed is that they're giving up some space for those quick throws on the outside edge, and Zach Smith is recognizing that, and if they continue, they're going to have to get in the face of these wide receivers or he'll take that easy money.
Here's Brooks up the middle and tackled from behind by McBride. He's to the 40. Tulsa came into this game as the 2nd worst rushing team in the country. That was a pickup of 8. Only Akron worst. Keenan Johnson across midfield.
This pace of play is it's very difficult if you're the Mustangs to make sure you get your play call and then execute that.
Out of the 4 receiver look, screen, and it's ruled incomplete. That time, Turner Cox, the D-end for SMU, read it all the way. And if you read that right, that's 6 the other way.
Well, that's an outstanding adjustment there from Kevin Kane, the defensive coordinator, because I just told you, they're going to the perimeter, they're going to those quick throws. They moved their D-end out, and he was the point man. He's actually pressing the wide receiver, and he just ran him right back in to the throat.
Smith has only thrown 1 pick this year. Has time in the pocket, and he's picked off. Armani Johnson is going to take it all the way back. They didn't get it on the previous play, but a pick 6 and SMU's defense leading the Mustangs early.
I have been thoroughly impressed with Armani Johnson on film, and I asked the coaching staff. He's a sophomore, very savvy player. He's got great instincts on the edge. They bring a 5-man blitz, and it was in the face of Zach Smith. He thinks that he can throw it to the teeth of the blitz, but Armani Johnson covered the route to perfection, finished the play, took it to the house. That's a lifetime highlight for the sophomore from Missouri City, Texas.
PATs have been an adventure for SMU. 6 missed extra points. Make it 7. Kevin Robledo's kick is blocked. It's kicked backwards. Tulsa picks it up and is tackled. Now the ball pops loose again. I believe the player was down. An SMU player went flying. It looked like Nelson Paul took a big hit. And a flag at the end of the play. It is an adventure on extra points for SMU.
Yeah, but it looks like a laundromat out here on the field. I can't. There's 5 flags out on the football field. A lot happening on that play. Actually 6, I believe. A lot happening, and they'll have to sort through it as the officials are now meeting. But you're right, and oftentimes for specialists and units in general, when you're struggling, it is hard to get out of your own way. And that time there, the kick appeared to be low, and just a great block there for Tulsa.
Legal kicking, 95. The offense. That penalty's declined. The try is no good. After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 90, Tulsa. That penalty forced, 15 yards on the kickoff. Immediate timeout.
So the penalty on Tulsa is on Jackson player, his second penalty. That'll be enforced on the kickoff. Robledo, who had missed a couple of games with a groin injury, came back last week. Misses an extra point for the 3rd time this season. 7th missed PAT for SMU. A missed extra point puts a little damper on the SMU touchdown, but defense gets it started for Sonny Dykes' squad. A pick 6 by Armani Johnson. First career interception. He takes it to the house. We told you about this improved SMU defense. They've now forced a turnover in 17 straight games, and they will kick off from midfield after the penalty on Tulsa. But the kicking woes for SMU are not to be ignored. They have not had a game be decided by a kick yet, but they've missed 7 extra points this season, and they've tried 3 different kickers. Robledo, who missed the last one, the starter. Onside kick attempt, there's a flag down. It did not travel 10 yards. You like that call there, Ahmad?
That's a gutsy call. As you were saying that, I'm thinking to myself, Sonny Dykes, listen, you got to roll the dice at some point.
Offside, number 8, kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
And think about this, too. This is not, maybe a rivalry that is recognized in terms of that. But I can tell you what, these two teams don't like each other. And when you've got 16 starters on Tulsa's side from the state of Texas and you're taking on a team from the state of Texas, there are some rivalries that cross over from high school. And guys that that you're familiar with, that you see during the summer and during the offseason. So, it's those kind of things that, when you make those kind of decisions as a coach, you feel like you're doing that to give your team an edge. We'll see what happens. I think the defense at this point has made him feel more comfortable going for an onside kick in that situation because they played so well in the first 2 drives.
Tulsa will begin in plus territory, or I should say just outside of plus territory. Zach Smith will run it. Now he's in plus territory. Gain of 5 for the redshirt junior from Grandview, Texas. Began his career at Baylor. Transferred here last year, sat out, and then won the quarterback derby in the offseason.
He wanted that quick throw on the outside, and Armani Johnson was all over it. One adjustment I've seen that SMU has made, they're now moving their linebacker out here to try to prevent them from getting that quick throw to the slot.
On second down, Corey Taylor nowhere to go. Taken down after a gain of about 1 yard. And it brings up 3rd down. Delano Robinson met Taylor. Taylor leading up to the Michigan State opener. Said on record he thought 200 rushing yards against the Spartans was a reasonable goal, and Tulsa finished that game with -73. And that includes sacks, but even if you take away the sacks, -1.
That's just bad. There's no other way to describe that.
A running game has been better since the dreadful performance against Sparty. Play clock at 2. Taylor broke the initial tackle. And Taylor all the way to the 40-yard line, brought down from behind by Paul. And a first down for Tulsa, more importantly, a third down conversion.
Well, they brought pressure here. And they just bring him right up the middle. And unfortunately couldn't get to him, but that's a great play there from Tulsa to extend the drive. And I was certainly expecting pass there, and they went with the run.
High snap. Over in the flat. And Josh Johnson with his second catch, a gain of 7. Smith started to go to Johnson more in the last game against Wyoming 2 weeks ago.
He can do some things. When he's got that ball in his hands, he's great in the open field, can make guys miss.
Tulsa coming off a bye on the ground here on second down. Helmet comes off for Taylor. A flag comes flying in. It was a first down run.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 50, the defense. 15-yard penalty for the run, the automatic first down. The running back does not have to lead the game.
This was just ripped off. And sometimes your fingers get caught in that face mask, but you don't even want to go that high so that doesn't happen. And McBride, he's a very seasoned player there, and has really done a good job of filling in for Richard Moore, who was the guy. And they're happy to have an experienced guy like that now as a middle linebacker, but that's a play that you can't make when you're a leader now on your team. And now you've put him in the red zone, and it just makes it a lot easier for this offense now to go ahead and capitalize on already a short field that was given to him by the onside kick to punch this one in.
And because the penalty caused Taylor's helmet to come off, he did not have to come out. Taylor got about a yard. You brought up Richard Moore. That is a huge loss.
Yeah, it was.
In the middle of SMU's defense, out for the season. He was their leading tackler a season ago, a transfer out of A&M. But again, SMU's done well in the transfer market, the portal, whatever you want to call it. You bring in McBride, and Auburn transfer to step right in.
Yes, and he's done a good job. Early on, they were just trying to make sure he understood the defense because the verbiage is different, and he's been thrown into the fire and done a good job.
Taylor on second down, and he's dropped for a loss, and this has been an issue for Tulsa. Entering tonight, 39% of their plays had gone for negative yards or 0 yards.
Well, that was forced by the defense. That was just Elijah Chapman, and he really stands out on film. They'll actually move him to defensive end sometimes in pass rush situations.
SMU showing blitz.
They're also showing their corners up and in the face of the wide receivers, trying to take away those quick throws. They're putting a lot of pressure on Stevens.
Play clock ticking down at 2. Smith to the air, steps up, incomplete, fourth down.
And for a very inexperienced and ineffective at time, if you will, Tulsa offensive line, they did a nice job of protecting there. The problem is on the back end, they suffocated the wide receivers. And I thought last week, we had their game versus South Florida. We didn't do a very good job of really talking about how good they were. But these guys came out, they challenged the wide receivers just like they did there and gave them no space to throw the football.
A 32-yard attempt for the redshirt freshman walk-on, Jacob Rainey. Kick is up, and it's good. A new career long for Rainey, now 4 of 5 on the year. And Tulsa gets on the board using the short field. 6-3, late first quarter. Gerald J. Ford Stadium, not named after the president, but an SMU alum and billionaire, holds 32,000. They're expecting 20,000 plus. There's a lot of buzz here. There are some empty seats. The upper bowl across from us still has a lot of empty seats, but again, this is a program that was literally reduced to rubble about 30 years ago with the death penalty, 1987. It's taken a long time to get back just to this level where they've cracked the top 25, and if they continue to win, you have to believe the people will come. C.J. Sanders inside his own 5. He's returned 5 kicks for touchdowns in his career. This time he gets to the 28. The transfer portal has been mined by both of these teams, but SMU especially. Zach Smith, of course, from Baylor. And then on the other side to Tulsa, he had a pre-existing relationship with Philip Montgomery, who was a Baylor assistant, and Shane Buechele. Quite the odyssey at Texas, a freshman starter. Was there to save Charlie Strong's job, didn't quite work out. Eventually replaced by Sam Ehlinger, coming to SMU, and he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the AAC. Finds Reggie Robertson on first down for a pickup of 13. Robertson entered this game leading the conference in receiving yards. You've got Proche, who leads the league in receptions. You've got the league's leading rusher in Jones, and Buechele leads the league in passing yards. A lot of weapons on offense. Chris?
Anish, one of the things you get with a transfer quarterback like Buechele is that he's played in big environments. At Texas, he played when they were ranked, so he has the experience to talk to his guys. He told me this week, hey guys, I want you to know, like, you can't ignore the ranking. It's there, but you can't make it about this team, because if we lose, that ranking goes away next week.
His first career start against Notre Dame.
Snap infraction, number 75, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Left guard Hayden Howerton. Yeah, to Chris's point about the ranking, Sonny Dykes told us his message to the team was, listen, it's nice that we're here. We're in the top 25. But as hard as it is to get in the poll, it's harder to stay in the poll.
I really like that. I like the message that he's sending to his team. And what it does, another flag on the play. And it might come from the sideline.
Yeah, Sonny Dykes was heated.
Yeah, he didn't feel like that was a snap infraction.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. The head coach, SMU. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You can hear the boos here now, and Sonny Dykes is nearly out on the field. I mean, he's trying to get a word with the official, and he's letting them know about it. And
SMU, their first. 30-second timeout.
Timeout by the Mustangs. SMU assistants trying to get Sonny Dykes back.
He's fired up.
Now, this is a team that has moved into the national conversation with this great 5-0 start. Chris, you're standing right behind Sonny Dykes. What happened?
Look out for. He's pretty livid.
Let's take a look at it. I'm assuming, you know, here's what happens when you get into that tempo, right? And you also have the fake snap with the clap and stuff like that. It appeared as though the right guard might have gotten an early jump, but I really don't see it there. And now you can see what Sonny Dykes is talking about. That's one of those calls when you make it, you've got to be sure. And when an offense goes this fast for the officials, look, it's difficult. But Sonny Dykes was adamant about it. And the one thing he can't do is cost the team more yardage. I'm sure he's, you know, not very happy about the result of that.
Second and long. Buechele to the air. He's got James Proche. And they get a big chunk of it back. It sets up a third and about 6.
You know what I've really been impressed with, Anish, is the chemistry between Proche and Robertson in particular, the wide receivers. When he came in, he worked really hard, Buechele did, to get that. And it's really manifesting itself out here on the football field for the Mustangs.
On the slant, Xavier Jones. Tackled by Johanse Burnett. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they're going for it here. And I think this is a good call from Sonny Dykes. And
even from the 45, minus territory.
Well, in between the 40s is not a surprise at all as they bring in some more muscle. I would, you know, this may be the prime opportunity here to get into some of your RPO package.
Tommy McIntyre, another tight end, comes into the game.
Now, Buechele has pooch punt before, and it looks like that's what he's lining up to do here.
He's punted twice this season. This is his 3rd punt. Nobody back deep for Tulsa. And it's going to be downed inside the 20-yard line at the 18. A 37-yard punt by Buechele. So if you're keeping score at home, SMU's punts today have come from a safety and a quarterback. We've got a number 10 theme going here next Saturday night in Death Valley. A top 10 SEC showdown. Number 10 Florida taking on number 5 LSU. And in the last 20 meetings, the Gators have 10 wins. The Tigers have 10 wins. Florida, people wondered when Felipe Franks went down, what impact would they have? Are they for real? They beat a very good Auburn team today, handing the Tigers of Auburn their first loss. LSU, meanwhile, continues to roll. That revamped offense led by Joe Burrow.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a top 5 matchup heading into next week. They will certainly get a leap after beating a number 7 ranked Auburn.
Zach Smith to the air. Caught down the sideline. Juan Carlos Santana with a huge gain.
That was huge, Zach Smith. I mean, he laid that on him. I mean, look, if you miss this ball as a wide receiver, something's really wrong. And just play action, he saw it over the top, smooth throwing motion, beautifully thrown ball.
Low snap from the 40, and Brooks tackled from behind. Good pursuit that time. Tyson Niels.
Great effort there from the backside from Niels just to chase the football down.
SMU's only scored today on a pick 6. They've been held in check offensively. Tulsa on the move again. Smith again to the air. Looking for Juan Carlos Santana again, and that was nearly picked off by Brandon Stevens. I spoke to Stevens yesterday after walkthrough. Grad transfer from UCLA. He was a running back with the Bruins, a running back in high school. Came to SMU, said he wanted to play defensive back, didn't have a scholarship. In fall camp, earned a scholarship and became a starter as a corner. This is his first time playing corner.
A lot of similarities with running back and cornerback, though, especially when it comes to footwork. Speaking of that, they've brought in some foot speed, brought in a smaller package, and out of this 4-man look, they tend to get pressure, they tend to constrict the pocket and force the quarterback to have to make some movement.
With the play clock winding down, Philip Montgomery, head coach and
Before the play clock
caller.
reaches 0. Timeout. Tulsa. They're first.
Montgomery with a timeout. 2 left for Tulsa. These two teams met in the regular season finale a year ago. SMU, with a win, would have gone bowling. Tulsa jumped out to a 21-0 lead and held on for a 27-24 win. Sonny Dykes told us the loss haunted his team. It still was a crawl on the side of the coaching staff, but he said after the game, I told our coaches, this is the best thing to happen to us. He felt that if SMU got to go to a bowl game for being 6-6, he felt it would have been a reward for being average. He felt it was a good wake-up call and a good motivator going forward, and that loss has been a springboard for the success they've had this season.
Well, you also heard the players talk about it, and when you suffer a loss like that as you're coming up on a key 3rd down, listen, when you get whipped and just, taken to the woodshed, you don't forget those types of losses, and it was motivation, as you said, throughout the offseason, but it only pays off if they come out here and make a play in these types of situations.
On 3rd and 9, here's the pressure. Stevens on the corner, blitz, off the tip, it's intercepted by Chevin Callaway.
Zach Smith with another beauty. This time, his wide receiver, Josh Johnson, the sophomore from Little Rock, just let him down. I mean, he flat out drops this ball. It's thrown right on the numbers as the coverage slipped. That's a play you've got to make. And if he catches that ball, he might have an opportunity in the open field to take it, turn it upfield. It would have been enough for a 1st down, but maybe even a touchdown. What a turn of events as they're getting ready to pop the bottle on the sideline.
Everybody has their new turnover celebration for SMU. Turnover bottle service.
Only in Dallas, Texas.
How about the shake by Xavier Jones? A gain of a dozen for the AAC's leading rusher, a 5th-year senior who's healthy this year, and that's made a world of difference.
He showed it there. I mean, it's a nice job of lateral movement, cut, quickness, getting in and out of his cut.
Back to Jones, and immediately by Edmiston, who Cooper Edmiston made the game-saving play last time out for Tulsa in a win against Wyoming. Forced a fumble near the goal line with the Cowboys driving. That was 2 weeks ago. Tulsa coming off a bye. Buechele will take a shot downfield for Proche. And it's incomplete. Proche was out of bounds. It's third down.
That's the second time today that I've seen him miss downfield, and Buechele is one of the best in the country at doing that. That time there, he might have felt a little pressure there. On that back, to his face, you were getting a little bit, and he threw that ball off his back foot. Though he makes those throws consistently, just not on target this time, as a 3rd and long situation here for the Mustangs.
Four-man pressure. Buechele looking for Tyler Page. He was covered by the safety Brandon Johnson. And 4th down for SMU, which is still without any offensive points.
This offense right now is not in sync. All right, this is one of the top offenses in the country at dialing up different plays, getting their running game going, and then making a play. And I'll tell you the difference. Buechele, he's missed some throws today that is unlike him. He's a very accurate quarterback and always has been throughout the course of his career.
How much of that is Tulsa's defense as Denbo punts it out of bounds?
Well, they got pressure there. I mean, and they're in his face, and as a quarterback, you feel that, you know, and this is why this is a stat that I love that they cover as a quarterback hurries, because it's not a sack, but it affects the quarterback, and you don't even have to get there. Sometimes when they think that blitz is coming, and if you've had effectiveness throughout the course of the game, it can really mess with his clock in his head.
Now, Tulsa's done a nice job, meanwhile, offensively of moving the ball. They've had some penalties. They've had a couple of turnovers. Really, they've gotten in their own way so far.
Right.
They've outplayed SMU in this first quarter.
I think for me, it's probably a little more even just because of the pick 6 from their defense, and I think they've got the edge there, having a takeaway and some points. But the reality of this game is close.
Corey Taylor looking for running room, met by Cox and Robinson. Actually, that was TK Wilkerson. First carry of the game for Wilkerson. Big 230-pound bruiser.
Big boy.
Quarter number 1 comes to an end. SMU with a 6-3 lead at home, playing as a ranked team for the first time since '86. They've got a pick 6 in this one and another INT as well. Dr. Pepper, Anish Shroff, Ahmad Brooks, Chris Budden with you from the Hilltop here in Dallas, Texas, where the Mustangs of SMU, on the strength of an Armani Johnson pick 6, lead 6-3, and SMU in the first quarter this season getting off to a good start has been something they've done, but offensively they've been held in check, and it's Tulsa football as we begin the second quarter. 2nd and 7 for this offense. TK Wilkerson in the backfield with quarterback Zach Smith. Wilkerson gets the call. There's that raw, brute power, and he gains 4 to set up a 3rd and short.
Listen, you got to bring your big boy pads when you're meeting with this guy in the hole, because that's just a lot of weight. You know, the one thing you want him to do, because he's so tall, is he's got to do a better job of running behind those pads and that weight, and that means bending at those knees and being able to drive through tacklers. And if I'm Tulsa right now, I hand him the pill again on this 3rd and short, and I challenge this SMU defense to come tackle this big boy.
Now they do just that. Hono Davis made the tackle, but Wilkerson able to nudge ahead for a 1st down.
That second effort, that push, that's what he brings to this offense. He's a young player, but he is a force. And like I said, if he can get lower in his pads, that's going to really help him generate that power and that drive from those legs to push people back. But that's a nice conversion there for the redshirt freshman.
Wilkerson came into the game averaging more than 6 yards per carry. He'll remain in the game here on 1st and 10. Smith to the air, edge pressure, downfield, wide open, Keylon Stokes! Touchdown, Tulsa! 58 yards, Smith to Stokes.
Wow. And this is just blown coverage on the back end. It appeared as though maybe Stevens, right cornerback from your right side of your screen, he's not in coverage. You had two guys in underneath coverage, and just based on the opposite side, it looked like they were in a 3-look, which would have meant that Stevens should have been in his deep third where they caught the ball. But great recognition from this Tulsa offense and Zach Smith to make them pay on a blown assignment.
PAT attempt for Rainey. And it is 10-6 Tulsa with the lead. Stokes, they call him Sleep. He's woken up this Golden Hurricane offense. 58 yards to pay dirt. Tulsa with the lead. Philip Montgomery's Tulsa Golden Hurricane spoiled SMU's chances at a bowl game a year ago. They're trying to spoil the Mustangs' perfect season, and Keylon Stokes, a 58-yard touchdown reception from Zach Smith, giving Tulsa its first lead of the game. Zach Long will kick it away to C.J. Sanders.
And this is the time where a guy like Sanders can be so dangerous. Your offense is sputtering. Can you make a play on special teams to win that part of the game?
Short kick toward the sideline. Bounces backwards. Tyler Page. It's recovered.
That's a touchdown
by Tulsa, and it's a touchdown. A special teams miscue by SMU.
What in the world?
Kendarian Ray jumped on it in the end zone. Confusion between Page and Sanders, and Tulsa capitalizing.
And here's what I'm going to say, having been a kick returner before. Page lines up like he's going to fill this kick, but he doesn't. And so if you're on the back end and you're Sanders, what you're thinking is, okay, I'm going to go add to the block. And then he looked like Sanders was supposed to field it. And I have no idea why he did not know that this ball was a live ball, and you've got to recover that. That is a poor mistake there on the part of, if you're asking me, I've got to put that on Page.
He played it like you would
I'm not
play
sure
a punt.
what happened.
He played it like you would play a punt. Now that ball had not been touched.
Well, it appeared as though maybe he knocked it in the end zone here.
Now it doesn't matter.
Yep.
PAT is blocked, so special teams has just been an odyssey for both teams. SMU missed an extra point. Tulsa has now missed one. But the biggest miscue coming by the Mustangs. Page, again, just follows this football.
It looks like it's tapped in the end zone there. And I think that's what the fans were reacting to here.
That doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Nice push there.
Rodney Clemens,
real playmaker for this team.
Came up with the block.
All right, and all week we talked about this early on. We said, how is SMU going to respond to pressure and being in the spotlight? If you're Sonny Dykes, you're not really worried. But what I will say is, this sideline is flat. And I don't know what Chris is seeing down there, but I can tell you this much. This looks like a team right now that knows that they've given the momentum to a team on the other side that doesn't fear coming into Dallas and taking it right to them. That's exactly what they did at the end of the season last year. Here's where your senior leadership, here's where your graduate transfers, and where your leaders have to step up. They've got to get this team out of this funk they're in, because this start has been one of the worst you've seen from this Mustangs team all season long.
A team that has started fast all year. Sanders from the 9. Notre Dame transfer.
Ahmad, to your point, this is a team that just has a different style of leadership. Shane Buechele's not a type that's like going to get in your face. Rhett Lashley the same way. He went up to his receivers, said, trust your routes, he's going to hit you. But again, not a very fiery, not a very frustrated group. The only one that I've seen is James Proche, who went over and said, we've got to help our defense out.
Largest deficit of the season for SMU. Low snap. Kamen Freeman brought down immediately by Reggie Robinson coming up from the cornerback position. It's a loss of 2.
Look, the Golden Hurricanes are taking the fight right now to the Mustangs. They're just flat out outplaying them. And to Chris's point, I don't care what your leadership does as long as it's effective. What they're doing right now is not working. And so if you're the Mustangs, even if you've got a manage to manufacture that energy, you've got to have, because right now Tulsa has all of the momentum.
Freeman again, he'll bounce it to the outside. And brought down again by Robinson. It'll bring up third down. SMU came in better than 50% on third down, but 0 for 4 tonight. And Freeman got up a little slow. Reggie Robinson remains down for Tulsa near that SMU sideline. Now, Robinson has had a really nice season, had a pick against Oklahoma State, recovered a fumble in the waning moments against Wyoming. That sealed the win.
And this would be a blow. I'm just going to flat out say it, because the way that they're playing, and as aggressive as these corners are and as big as they are, that type of physical nature and presence they have on the perimeter has helped them thus far, especially taking on these dominant wide receivers. They also like to blitz him a lot from the boundary. He's active when it comes to adding to that 5-man pressure, and it appears as though he's up, but he's really not moving that shoulder.
And remember, Caleb Evans, who had been part of that 3-corner rotation with Allie Green and Robinson, Evans is out. He's got a shoulder injury, so now you're really sinking into that cornerback depth, and you do it against a team that has some of the best receivers in this conference.
And it appears as though they've moved Green now over to right corner.
And they've brought in Tyon Davis, the sophomore.
Now they do like him, and they think he's going to be a special player.
Tulsa drops 8. Buechele to the air. He's got Proche. And a first down grab for James Proche, the AAC's leader in receptions. He had a huge game against SMU, or rather against Tulsa, a season ago.
That's the Buechele we've seen all season long. Throwing the ball on time, throwing it in a safe location, and converting.
Buechele 4 out of 7, 48 yards. Pedestrian so far. On the run, too high for Galliard. 2nd and 10.
I tell you what, these RPOs, I just don't know how defenses defend them now. He had so many options there. He could have handed the ball off. He could have ran with the football. And then he had a wide receiver, as he committed to the run, that was still waiting for the football. If you're the defense, there's really not a lot you can do. And when you're a perimeter player, you have to stay home. They've now forced defenses. You can't run and fly to the football like you used to when they didn't have these RPOs systems in college football.
Now, Rhett Lashley told us SMU would have to run the ball a lot against Tulsa. They keep it on the ground here, and it's Kamen Freeman taken down after a short gain. Who else but Edmiston there on the stop? It's 3rd down.
I've been impressed with Tulsa right now. I mean, they are flat out getting after SMU, and even that time, Burnett, the defensive end, the star, he even gets a hit on Buechele, knocked him out. And when you look at this linebacking core, Edmiston and Collins have been staples. These guys flow to the football, they make tackles, they can drag ball carriers down by themselves, and they don't normally miss.
It's the strength of the team. Reggie Robinson back in there, a good sign for Tulsa.
They are aggressive. They are press coverage on the outside edge.
Again, a 3-man rush. Buechele downfield, too high for Keylon Granson. What this defense forces you to do is make the plays underneath. Settle for 4 or 5 yard gains sometimes. It tests your patience. And right now, SMU is not showing patience. They're trying to get it all back in big plays. That's hard to do against Tulsa's defensive front.
Yeah, the way they really clog up the windows, particularly in the middle of the field, deep. That's why you're seeing a lot of flag routes, corner routes, and Buechele just hadn't been able to connect.
Stokes back. Denbo's punt lands inside the 20. Takes an SMU bounce, and it's down at the 1-yard line. Trevor Denbo, the safety and rugby-style punter, comes up big for the Mustangs.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Heritage Hall, where the history resides for SMU. 3 national championships, 11 conference championships. Heisman winner Doak Walker, and of course the Pony Express, Eric Dickerson and Craig James. And if SMU were to win tonight, they would be 6-0 the best start since that undefeated or unbeaten 1982 team that was 11-0-1, and that was the last year of Dickerson and James in the Pony Express.
They're not looking like the Pony Express right now.
No.
It's been far from that. But now you've got a defense backed up here. If I'm on this defense right now, I'm calling for more points. The only points they've manufactured tonight have been on an interception return from Johnson.
Flag is down.
Yeah, they got some movement there.
False start.
Divot.
We're 75. Offense. After this is to the goal line, still first down.
So that's a half-yard penalty.
Yeah, but what that also tells you is his mindset, right? He's fearful because you know what can happen down here. So many mistakes. Quarterback trying to get it out too soon, pick six, a safety. And if you're SMU right now, turn up the heat and get after it.
It's a young, inexperienced offensive line. Corey Taylor up the middle. Denbo with the stop, only a couple of yards. Second down, but some breathing room for Tulsa.
That was great patience there from Taylor. I mean, he didn't try to rush that play and was able to get that quick jump cut to even get them some of that room that they have now. But if you're SMU, the plan's still the same. When you're this close, you've got to smell blood. And you've got to be like a shark. You've got to go after it.
Richard McBride firing up the crowd. Taylor again ran into McBride. That was a loud collision, only a yard. And now 3rd and long. And remember, SMU leads the nation in sacks.
McBride read this from, he knew this was a run. I mean, he takes no steps backwards or sideways. He comes downhill and took a shot. Taylor turned into the defender there. As now you've got a 3rd and medium situation. And SMU showing an aggressive look on the outside. Two-shell look. Corners are pressed in the face, and it looks like they are letting Johnson play by himself on that backside and lock up the wide receiver, Crawford or Johnson.
Play clock at 2, at 1. Taylor to the outside, tackled in space by Patrick Nelson, who has been nothing short of a human tempest for SMU.
I love this guy.
Down.
I love him. He's a Swiss Army knife. I mean, you know, he does everything. He'll blitz. He plays inside the box. He can cover. You can put him. You can drop him back in coverage. And right now, he's fired up on the sideline. And that's what they need. That is an excellent tackle. If he doesn't make that play, you've got a running back with some steam coming down that has already run through a couple of Mustang defenders. But that's the play right there. And he got up and was firing up on the sideline, and he's still talking to his teammates right now. Excellent play.
Bennett, one of the best punters in the country, standing near the edge of his own end zone. SMU came after him. Proche lets this one bounce. It takes a Mustang bounce, and SMU will start inside the Tulsa 35-yard line. Just a 26-yard kick. Season 5 for Philip Montgomery at Tulsa. Went to a bowl game his first 2 years. Won 10 games his second season, but the last 2 years have added pressure to Philip Montgomery. 5-19 the previous 2 years. 2-2 entering tonight. And a chance for a win against a ranked opponent on the road in what is Tulsa's conference opener. SMU down by 10, starting inside the 35 of Tulsa. Buechele all day, going long for Robertson. Broken up. The battle of the Reggies. Robinson against Robertson.
I don't really like this throw here. I don't. He had some space in the middle of the field and just didn't wait for it here. And you know, this is what he's done all year long, and his wide receivers have attacked the football. But he's 0 of 3 throwing the ball downfield, being one of the best quarterbacks in the country at doing that. And I feel like if he'd have just waited a second longer, that play would have opened up for him as across the middle. He had his wide receiver, or pardon me, his tight end, Kyle Granson, who had broke loose.
Couple of extra blockers on that right side on second down. Jones running strong side, barrels forward inside the 30. Edmiston again with the tackle, and it's third down.
Yeah, this defense right now, they are playing at a very high level, and what I like what they're doing is they're not missing tackles, they're taking appropriate angles, and they are winning the line of scrimmage.
Low snap. Here's the pressure. Buechele floats it downfield. Proche inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, SMU.
He has struggled throwing outside today, but that time on the money. And he's misfired on some third downs, but he made them pay here. Excellent timed route as they get into their hurry-up offense and back on the ball.
Going quickly. Screen pass, broken up, ruled incomplete. Reggie Robinson read it all the way.
Woo-wee. That was almost another pick six, but this time for Tulsa. And if he wouldn't have swatted his hands and shot his hands here, he'd have broke this play up. I mean, he beat the wide receiver to the football. Wow, outstanding play.
Two tight ends in the game, second and goal. Buechele sacked. Trevis Gibson. Tulsa has 4 sacks this season. Gibson has all of them.
And now he's legit. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, he's an NFL prospect. But I thought maybe on the end of this play it could have been face mask. But Gibson's a guy you've got to watch out for. He just fights through a double team here, just determined. And I don't know where that hand was at. Maybe it looked like maybe it was on the jersey, but great play there once again from Tulsa.
Gibson went to Von Miller's pass rush summit over the summer. Got to shadow Aaron Donald. Third and goal. Buechele looking for Proche, who brings it in. It's a catch. He didn't get into the end zone. They'll say he's got it at the 1-yard line. It's 4th down. The offense is staying out on the field.
Yeah, they're trying to hurry this up so there's not a challenge.
Was that a clean catch?
It didn't appear as though his feet were in bounds here. Yeah, he's well out of bounds.
Not a catch.
Yeah, that one was pretty clear to me. The first time I saw it, it just didn't look right. But for officials, where you can tell is when you drag on this turf, you can see where your cleat marks start. And you can tell it's clearly out of bounds. I mean, that's not even close. So, but I do understand the officials in a situation like that, you don't want to make that call and it be a catch.
And now a decision if this is overturned. Do you trust the kicking game if you're SMU?
Great point.
And Ashraf, Ahmad Brooks, Chris Budden, 4th and goal from the 15-yard line for SMU. The last catch by James Proche was reviewed and rightfully overturned. He never got in bounds. And so, a decision now for Sonny Dykes. You would think it's an easy decision to kick a field goal, but man, the place kicking game has been so erratic. SMU has missed an extra point this season. They've missed 7 PATs. Robledo's been hurt this year. He's missed 2 games with a groin injury. This is his 2nd game back, and he will try a field goal from 32 yards. He was very good a season ago when he was 11 of 14. Bad snap. Kick is up, and it's good.
They're fortunate there. And the credit there goes to the holder. Outstanding job of being able to put that down. Wow.
Cole Voiles was the long snapper, and it was a low snap, and you're right. Warren Scott, who's the punter and holder, got that ball, laces out in time.
He bailed them out. And here's the point. Watching on the sideline, too, for that previous play, Buechele misses the target. You can see the low. It's low there, but a nice job of still maintaining his patience and putting that ball down. But when you go back to the play where Proche has the catch and he's out of bounds, I saw Lastly talking to Buechele. He missed one. Robertson was open on a shorter route to the flat, and he did not throw it there. And he struggled tonight throwing that corner route and that flag route. He's got to do a better job of that. In this offense right now, they need some type of boost because they're as flat as you've seen them all season long.
Yep.
But here's the good thing, though, Anish. If you're Sonny Dykes, guess what you're about to find out about your team? How they respond to some serious adversity against a conference opponent.
Rhett Lashley, the OC, told us this is a game that he felt SMU would have to win ugly.
Yeah, and they've mucked it up for sure.
That field goal by Robledo, the first offensive points of the game for SMU. Here's Stokes. He has the lone offensive touchdown of the game. And a nice return to take it to the 29-yard line. NFL Countdown back this Sunday. Randy Moss with You've Got Mossed, the best catches from this weekend's college football action. And Daniel Jones, the new folk hero in New York, how his Duke roots have turned him into the new king of the Big Apple. Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then the Monday nighter, Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners, undefeated against Baker Mayfield and the Browns.
I tell you what, Zach Smith started this game off, and he was poor. He had 128 consecutive passes without an interception, and then he had 2 interceptions in 6 attempts. But he came back, found a wide open target, and if he can keep this team going, they can really extend this lead and really put the pressure on the Mustangs.
Shamari Brooks just got back to the line of scrimmage. He's a really good running back, shifty, nearly ran for 1,000 yards last season. The O-line has not done him many favors this year. Coming into tonight, more than 20% of Brooks's carries went for negative yards.
Yikes. That is behind an inexperienced and ineffective at times offensive line.
Now, they've done okay tonight against a really good SMU defensive front. Smith got rid of it quickly. He's got Josh Johnson. And Johnson's close to a first down. That's the 3rd catch for the Iowa State transfer.
They bring in Denzel Carter, tight end, 6'5", 275. I would expect this football to go right behind him.
A Sunday player, according to his head coach. Brooks, up the gut, breaks free! Shamari Brooks, 1 man to beat, cuts it back! He could go! All the way to the 5-yard line. Finally tracked down by Chase Cromartie. Maybe one too many dance moves, but a huge run, and Tulsa back in business.
And who'd they go behind? Carter. It's just a great block there to seal it off on the edge as they're back on the ball.
Back to Brooks. Met by Nelson. Now Brooks does have a couple of 100-yard games this season. San Jose State and Oklahoma State.
I'm totally shocked right now. I mean, listen, Tulsa's, they're winning at the line of scrimmage. They're out rushing the Mustangs. They're outplaying them. This team has come out here flat. And you want to know how they responded? They haven't responded very well. The good thing is, though, there's still a lot of football left to be played.
Big TK Wilkerson into the game at running back. Smith will throw, wide open Stokes. His 2nd touchdown of the game. He beat Cromartie. And Tulsa responding. They've got a 2-score lead.
Well executed rub route on the outside. And when you're forced in this position, you know, the inside wideout, he's trying to rub right off the back of the wide receiver, and that's what happened. And they go into the RPO package. Zach Smith makes a great decision, finds the mismatch, the open space, and puts the ball on the money for a touchdown.
PAT good by Rainey, 23-9. Already 2 undefeated teams have fallen on this Saturday. Iowa and Auburn, and SMU down 14. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. Well, Tulsa, despite 2 turnovers, has used a couple of big plays offensively. Brooks had the long run on the last drive to set up a touchdown. Then there was the 58-yard touchdown pass to Stokes. Meanwhile, the big play, the explosive play, has not been there for Sonny Dykes' team. What is Tulsa doing so well defensively that has SMU out of sorts?
Or they're not missing tackles and they're hungry. Right now, they're taking the fight to the Mustangs. And this is where you really get a chance to learn what you're made of. The leaders on this team, the playmakers, they've got to now stand up.
There's Sanders from the 4. Sanders to the outside. He's taken 5 kicks back in his career for a touchdown and brings this one across midfield.
That's the kind of play that'll get you going. And for a second there, I thought that might have been one. He's just got a knack for it. And you think of players like Dante Hall and guys that have a knack for this. This is hard to do. It takes timing. You've got to have, obviously, a good skill set, which he has, but he understands how plays develop here. And once again, another great return from Sanders.
Xavier Jones in the backfield to start the series. Buechele's got time. Robertson near sideline, met immediately by Johnson, the safety. Brandon Johnson, Dallas native, by way of Tyler Junior College, second year with Tulsa. After a gain of 7, Robertson again, tunnel screen, and he tunnels inside the 35-yard line. A first down for SMU.
It's a great job there from Proche. And Robinson's going to get the credit, but Proche with a nice block there.
Robertson and Proche stacked to the bottom of your screen. This is Jones. Pinballs off a couple of defenders. And a nice run by Xavier Jones, who scored a touchdown in every game this season, but not tonight.
He's really impressed me after watching him for 2 weeks in a row. He's in great form right now, and he's really one of the leading playmakers for this Mustangs team. And with him as healthy as he is right now and as effective as he is, they've got some great skilled players when he's playing at that level.
Jones again, showing good patience. A flag down. Cullen Wick with the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, 91. Defense, half the distance to the goal line. Automatic, first down.
4th penalty on Tulsa, the most penalized team in the country.
That time there, Cullen Wick with the mistake, and SMU really now getting their feet underneath them. This is the way this offense has run. And last week, when they were able to get on USF, it was because of the tempo and the timing and the rhythm of the offense, and they just have not seen that type of sync in this ballgame.
Buechele tried to MacGyver out of trouble. Instead, he's sacked by Big Cat Stevenson. Tyrus Stevenson, 6'3", 343 pounds. Gibraltar and cleats.
That's a big man, and this is a great play here. Buechele, this is what's made him better this year. His pocket mobility, his movement to escape pressure, but just couldn't escape the bear hug there from Stevenson. And then on the back end, nothing to throw to for Buechele, and that's why he had to eat that one.
So second down. Buechele again with time. He'll take off. Floats it downfield. It was tipped by Zaven Collins, a freshman All-American a season ago, and now another third down for SMU. And hey, last time they had the ball inside the 35 of Tulsa to begin with. Settled for a field goal. They started in plus territory on this drive. Things are stalling. They've had some issues down in the red zone this year. Got to get to about the 2-yard line for a first down. And a timeout by Tulsa.
Timeout, Tulsa. Their second. 30 seconds in length.
You know, you saw Zaven Collins get up there to get in the way of that pass. 6'4", 256. Ali Green is a 6'3" corner. You may not think of it when you think of Tulsa having Power 5 size on defense, but they do.
Watch this play. I mean, if he's not the size and the height that he is, he does not make that play, and they convert. And it was interesting. Our staff, we went back and looked at it. I mean, look at this now. I mean, we're talking Alabama and Clemson. Look at the height and the weight comparison between the big dogs. I mean, this is a long, athletic, big team. And all week long, you heard Sonny Dykes talk about it. He said they're physical, they're big, and it's showing up right now with the way that they are commanding this offense, controlling it for SMU, and then making plays like Collins just did.
The versatility of their linebackers allows them to play this 3-down lineman front. A 3-man rush here on third down. Buechele finds his man. It's Proche. He's going to be tackled at the 5-yard line by Manny Bunch. And now fourth down. Do you go for it if you're Sonny Dykes?
Yeah, it looks like he is, and that was a great throw there from Buechele. Nice job of sliding into the pocket. And they are looking. They're trying to figure it out.
Tommy McIntyre comes in, so two tight ends. Now Granson will line up in the slot. Fourth down. Buechele rolls to his right. Throws it back the other way for McIntyre, and it's incomplete. Covered well by Manny Bunch. And a turnover on downs.
Woo-wee. This defense is on fire. I mean, there was nowhere to throw there. Might have been able to get it to Proche there in the flat early, but he didn't. And he goes back here just trying to give him an opportunity to go out and get this. But, you know, this is the second straight drive starting in Tulsa territory and getting also into the red zone. And they've come away with no touchdown. They come away with a field goal, this time coming back on fourth down. I think that was the right call to make, though. However, Tulsa's just playing at a higher level right now on defense.
Let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. All right, Kevin, thank you. Sam Crawford on the first down catch, 17 yards. Tulsa out of the shadow of its own end zone. Crawford, another Dallas area guy from Rockwall, about 30 minutes outside of the city, enjoying a breakout sophomore season.
And you talked about it, that how this SMU team really plays behind the line of scrimmage. They reestablished that. Only one tackle for loss. Compare that to Tulsa's defense with 5.
Taylor with a couple. A big emphasis during the bye week for Tulsa. Pass protection.
Yeah.
Now they felt not only the 16 sacks that Zach Smith had taken, they also felt he had taken a lot of hits through the first 4 games.
Yeah, and you need him healthy. You need him healthy and upright. And SMU really does need to do a better job of forcing him to feel uncomfortable right now in the pocket. Since those interceptions, he's really found a rhythm and a comfort level there behind his line.
There's the pressure. He's got Crawford, who's spun down by Stevens. A flag down back at the 16-yard line. Might be a late hit.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 10, defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
And Demrick Gary.
Nice move.
And just a little late.
That's tough. I mean, because he's already committed himself when he throws the football. That's tough. Hands were a little high on that play, and that might have been why they felt the need to call it there.
We come up on 1 minute to play in this opening half. Tulsa has a timeout. Ball now in Mustang territory. Smith to the air. Here comes the pass rush. Smith will tuck it, throwing on the run. Dangerous pass! And it's caught at the 15 by Josh Johnson. That'll stop the clock until the officials spot the ball.
Wow. I mean, he just showed big boy here. This is a great job there on the back end from Johnson to find some space, but Smith with an outstanding throw while he took the hit.
A timeout by SMU with 39 seconds to go. And if Tulsa can get in the end zone here, boy, you're talking about launching not just a haymaker, but a haymaker to the chin before halftime.
Listen, this changes the dynamic of the game, and the difference has been him. It has been this quarterback, Zach Smith. He's really come out and he's played well. That time there, he takes a shot from McBride and just fought it off still to be able to get the ball downfield. And right now, they're in rhythm. I mean, watch the shot that he takes here on the back end of this play, showing his toughness and his throwing ability.
He's a young man who grew up on a 3,000-acre ranch and calf roped when he was younger.
That's cowboy tough right there now, okay? That's a guy that's been in a compromising situation with a steer before, or fallen off of a horse, been bucked off, and the reality of it is you know one thing, when that happens, you got to get back up. Don't get scared.
Explain calf roping for the non-cowboy audience.
Hey, it's just a game you play. You go out and you're on the back of your horse, your baby, and you're just trying to round up that steer. This right now, he's rounding up these Mustangs with the way that he's played after those interceptions. He's playing at a very high level.
12 out of 17, 220 yards. Smith to the air. Pass was altered. It looked like he was hit by Delonte Scott. Now, this is a quarterback who, when he was at Baylor, threw for 463 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game against Oklahoma and outdueled Baker Mayfield. His team didn't win, but he had better numbers than Baker.
It's a resume highlight for sure.
34 seconds. Taylor, the running back. They've got the tight end Carter in there. Stokes with 2 TDs, the slot receiver.
They're in man coverage in the back end for the Mustangs.
Smith with time, end zone. Intercepted by Amari Johnson, his second of the game. It's the 3rd pick by SMU in this first half. And a missed opportunity for the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, coming into the game, Clemens was tied for the lead in the nation in terms of interceptions, but tonight, Armani Johnson has stole the show. And I asked the staff yesterday, I said, it seems like you give him the leeway. Maybe their jerseys or something are stuck together. It didn't look like they could get apart. Yeah, that was clearly Johnson's ball, and you can't blame him for trying to get under that pile if you're Santana and try to make it happen, but Johnson is playing at a high level. The previous play where they had to throw it underneath is because he blanketed the wide receiver. This time here, that's just an excellent job of pinning him, getting it in that inside hip, feeling for the wide receiver, and turning at the perfect time. But the most important thing, finishing the play when your team needs it. He shut them out of points when they were in field goal range, and now this SMU offense at least has some time here to perhaps get into field goal range if you're feeling good about your kicker being healthy.
And there is the turnover bottle service. Waiting for them to pop the cork. Maybe they're not going to do it down by 14.
Johnson's got an expensive bill, popping bottles like that now.
One timeout, 25 seconds to go on the ground. And Jones picks up about 4. Clock continues to run, and it appears SMU will head into the locker room. First time this season the Mustangs have trailed at the half. Tulsa's defense has held an SMU offense which came in averaging 44 points per game to just 9. 6 of those 9 points came on a pick 6. The Golden Hurricane coming to the hilltop looking for an upset, and they're halfway there.
I mean, they punched SMU right square in the mouth. They came out here not intimidated, and if you're Montgomery, you're telling your boys right now, listen, now we've got to go back in the half like we're trailing, Let's make sure that we stay focused and finish this, because this would be a big win for their program if they could come in here and pull off a win. It appears, though, Sonny, he's still barking at the officials. He has not been happy all game long, and for whatever reason,
dead ball foul.
He's trying to do the official's job
Victory
tonight.
on Tulsa. His first. The penalty will be enforced on the second half kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike on Tulsa. Dramatic ending here to this first half. Chris?
Told them before the game that there's going to be some snap count issues, and there has been, and we hadn't exactly got it called the way we need to, but beyond that, we got to get past that and just got to get settled in and play. We just haven't done that so far.
Your thing is starting fast offensively. What's prevented that today?
Well, we just haven't executed very well. We've seems like we're pressing, trying to do a little too much. I think our guys came out a little tight. We just got to settle in and play, and if we do that, we'll be fine.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
SMU down at the half. Tulsa looking to score a big win, and it's conference opener. 23-9. Golden Hurricane on top. After the break, Kevin Connors and you're watching ESPN College Football presented by Dr. Pepper. SMU ranked for the first time since the death penalty, but staring at a 2-touchdown deficit heading into the third quarter. Anish Shroff alongside Ahmad Brooks. Chris Budden is down on the field. If you told me Tulsa would come here on the road against a ranked team and commit 3 first-half turnovers, no way they're winning. But they are, and by 2 touchdowns. How?
Well, number one, they've totally shut down the SMU offense. But then Zach Smith has also gotten started. And so when you talk about this defense, they've really gotten after Shane Buechele and the Mustangs. They haven't missed tackles. They're taking appropriate angles and finishing plays, as you've just seen here. But on the flip side, Zach Smith comes out, and after going 128 consecutive passes without an INT, throws 2 interceptions. And since that time, he's been on fire, connecting, throwing balls in safe locations, and leading these Golden Hurricanes to scores. And that's the thing that SMU is not doing right now, and that's showing on the scoreboard. And now that you've got to kick it back off to this offense, what you need right now is this defense to come out and give you a 3-and-out and say, we're here, and we're not going anywhere.
SMU, one of the most potent offenses in the country, did not have a first-half offensive touchdown. A pick-6 and a field goal. Special teams has been a disaster as well. And Tulsa, as you said, the Golden Hurricane will receive the second-half kickoff. Roberts, bouncing kick, takes a big hop. Juan Carlos Santana turning the corner. He's to about the 31 as we say hi to Chris again.
Hey, Anisha, Philip Montgomery's message at halftime summed up by one word: separate. The chance to come out here with some energy, put a score on the board, and separate this game even further. You talked about the miscues for SMU's offense, and it's something that was not a surprise to Montgomery. He said, I think that we have one of the best secondaries in the country. We're great against the rush, so I'm not surprised that we were able to limit them. He said the one thing is we've been in this situation before. We have to be able to take advantage of it now.
Zach Smith, the Baylor transfer, did throw the 3 picks, but 220 yards, 2 TD passes in the first half. A throw on first down and brought in by Josh Johnson, 5th catch. Now let's see who's slinging it tonight, brought to you by Sling TV, and it is Zach Smith from Grandview, Texas, Ahmad.
Well, what I also like is he's just not slinging it, but he's throwing it to the right target. And he's getting that ball out quickly, even when they go to their read option or zone read plays.
Hand it off, it's Shamari Brooks. And Brooks breaking tackles toward midfield. A gain of 11. He's up to 81 yards for the game. More than 2,000 for his career. And closing in on his 3rd 100-yard game of the season.
You know who's closing in on the MVP for me? This Tulsa offensive line. They're controlling it right now. They're keeping their quarterback upright, and they're providing enough holes for this rushing attack to get going. For all the slack they've taken, being young and being inexperienced, they've taken on this challenge of taking on one of the top D-lines in the American, and they've handled them.
4-man twist. Again, good protection. Smith all day. Downfield, nearly intercepted again. It's ruled incomplete. Johnson looked to have caught it off the tip. Denbo, who's been punting tonight for SMU along with his safety duties, nearly had the 4th interception for the Mustangs.
Punted that one with his hands. You've got to make this play. You need somebody right now to spark. And I'm not even sure why he jumped right there. Run through the catch, complete that play. But that's what it's been like all night for the Mustangs, as Tulsa gets another opportunity here to keep on moving and charging towards the Mustangs' end zone.
Brooks spun down at the 45. Delano Robinson with the tackle. It's 3rd down. You're right about this offensive line coming into the game. Philip Montgomery told us this is a unit that will get better. He felt they improved, but you got to see the evidence. The bye week seems to have helped. SMU came into the game leading the nation in sacks. Tulsa, one of the worst at giving up sacks. But Zach Smith has had time for the most part tonight. Play clock at 4. Down to 2. They just get it off. Smith. And that's a first down catch. Keylon Stokes, who has 2 receiving touchdowns, picking up 6.
That was an easy matchup. I mean, you've got Trevor Denbo, your safety, on your slot wide receiver. and he gets caught on his heels. It didn't even come out of his break right. I mean, you watch him here. He needs to sit right there at the line of scrimmage. You know, that's the mark they're trying to get to. They're trying to get to the sticks. That time they're sitting too high, back on his heels, and they convert.
Stokes had a big game against SMU last year. 6 catches, a career high of 140 yards. 3 for 68, 2 TDs today. Nelson blitzing off the edge. Josh Johnson sheds the initial tackle, and then tackled by Brandon Stevens, the UCLA transfer. Not much. Patrick Nelson, 2 in blue, bringing that edge pressure now. And if you're Kevin Kane and SMU, how much more do you dial it up in the second half?
You want to keep him mixed up, but the problem is he's so comfortable right now in the pocket because you're not getting to him. That's the problem. It doesn't matter. If you call a blitz and you don't get to him, you've wasted men in the rush and in the blitz.
And that's opened up some big plays for Tulsa tonight. On 2nd and 10, Smith to the air. Downfield, wide open again! Touchdown, Tulsa, Keylon Johnson. That's twice tonight Tulsa has had a receiver with nobody in the area code.
Yeah, and at the end of this play, Clemens and Johnson are talking. One of them blew coverage. You know, I don't know who it was. You've got a middle of the field safety. It appears to be the corner. He got lost. That looks like they were on the back end. He had 3rd, but he got caught on the underneath route and made it easy for Zach Smith to go over the top. And at the end of that play, the senior from Katy, Texas, Clemens, went over to him, and they were having a conversation. Another blown coverage that leads to points. SMU's defense that's been solid, been disciplined for most of the year. They've come out here, blown assignments, given up points. And Zach Smith, 3 for 3, deep, 2 touchdowns. He's balling out right now, and he's leading his team, and that's why they're up by 20.
From Gerald J. Ford Stadium, you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Anish Shroff, Shamari Brooks, Chris Budden with you on a Saturday night. The Mustangs ranked for the first time in 33 years. And they're staring at a 3-touchdown deficit right now. C.J. Sanders trying to reverse field and nothing there. Keylon Johnson scored the last touchdown for Tulsa. Back in April, a tornado, an F3 tornado, struck his hometown of Alto, Texas. That tornado claimed the lives of 9 people, and it destroyed Johnson's childhood home. Johnson did travel back in July. His family has since moved into a new home. Xavier Jones up the middle. Chris?
Well, how about this? Keylon knew the weather was going to hit his hometown, but his mom had said, hey, we're okay. Don't worry about us. So he went to go take a nap. He woke up because his grandmother called him. Her house also destroyed. She's still in the process of rebuilding.
Buechele chased by player. He's got to throw it away. Ahmad. On 3rd down, SMU had been great through 5 games, better than 50%. Not the case tonight. Part of the reason, in the first half, on average, they had 12 yards to go on 3rd down, and part of the struggles, they haven't really made much headway on 1st and 2nd down like they've done earlier this year, and this is a defense that does not allow big plays, so if you're in 3rd and longs, it's not the recipe against this 3-3-5 front. This is a 3rd and 6. Buechele to Jones. Upended, great tackle in space by Brandon Johnson. And the struggles continue for this SMU offense while Tulsa's defense is putting on a clinic.
Listen, this is a big-time tackle. I mean, you've got a big offensive lineman chasing you, and as Morris tried to get there for the block, he beats the block. That is Johnson, and makes an outstanding tackle, or that play would have popped them big. They called the right play, but they just couldn't get away from the grip of Johnson.
Denbo, another rugby-style punt, and it'll be downed at the Tulsa 40. The Golden Hurricane looking to knock off 24th ranked and undefeated SMU.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Ole Miss had that test against Bama recently, and Tulsa's a team coming off a bye, but battle-tested early in the season, opening at Michigan State. Then still had to travel to San Jose State. You come back, Oklahoma State. Then get a very good Wyoming team to come to Tulsa. They had been hardened by the time they came to the Hilltop to take on 24th ranked SMU. Corey Taylor on first down, exploding through the secondary. Taylor into SMU territory. A little speed to go along with that power, a gain of 30. And there is an injured SMU player back near midfield. It's Chase Cromartie.
On the sideline, it looks like their outstanding Patrick Nelson is also down on the Tulsa sideline. Wow.
Sonny Dykes' Mustangs need a comeback if they're to equal the best start since the days of the Pony Express. Tulsa looking for its first win against a ranked team since 2010. We told you the grueling non-conference schedule for Tulsa. You look at what they have to begin conference play on the road against undefeated SMU. Then Navy and the option on the road at Cincy, which beat UCF last night. Then Memphis, which is undefeated. Tulane, much improved this year. And then you get UCF.
If they play like they did tonight, they're going to have a chance to win every last one of those games because they really have been more physical. They've been more disciplined than the Mustangs have been tonight.
Here is Taylor, who's had a nice game. 11 carries, now 52 yards. And look at that Iroquois gauntlet awaiting Tulsa. Next 5 opponents are combined 20-5.
And this is different. You know, Tulsa coming into this game, they were one of the more efficient and fast offenses in the country. They've really taken their time and been methodical today.
Taylor wrapped up in the backfield. Tyson Niels with the TFL. It's 3rd and long.
That's a great individual effort. Now you can get into your defense, because what he did there was he just totally whipped the blocker, and this is what SMU has looked like all season on defense. Whip the blocker, makes a play, gets in the backfield. Now, if you're Zach Smith, who's had a clean jersey tonight, you're the Mustangs, you've got to make sure that he feels the pressure and the heat. Whether you rush 4, whether you bring the blitz, he has to know he doesn't have all day to connect with his wide receivers.
Cannon Montgomery, Philip Montgomery's son, has checked in. This is caught by Josh Johnson. And Johnson just gets the first down, brought down by Clemens. A huge 3rd and long conversion for Tulsa.
Clean pocket. I mean, it's just taking his time back there, you know?
Now going quickly. Smith to the air, downfield. Incomplete. Denbo reached up to try to knock it down. 2nd and 10. And hey, if you're Tulsa, that play has worked. They have found some blown coverage on shots downfield.
For the defense. Swimming on the field of the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And it was a free play. So 1st and 5 now. Ball inside the 30. And you get the sense a touchdown here, and this lead would be insurmountable.
And if you're the Mustangs, here's what you're hoping you tap into. You know, right up the road when you were taking on TCU and you beat a ranked opponent, you really had to dig deep, and it was a 4th quarter game. You've got to make it a 4th quarter game tonight.
Smith eluding the pursuit, throwing off his back foot, and wisely threw it out of bounds.
That was a great play. I mean, he got great protection, a great block there from the back, who Brooks just chopped down one of the rushers, but it was his movement and the smart and wise play. And now 2nd and short, because they get the penalty there, they're still on schedule. He didn't cost his team anything there.
Smith closing in on 300 yards passing. Brooks up the middle, breaks the initial tackle. 3rd down.
Who's going to be the answer? Now you've been challenged again. You can make a stop here and really change the course of this game if you're SMU, but they actually look tired. You know, it's just not the same pizzazz that they've had throughout the season, and got to tap into that. And this could be 4th down territory if you're really going to try to go ahead and choke them out.
To the air, edge pressure. Smith gets rid of it, and it's incomplete, intended for Josh Johnson. And now let's see if Tulsa rolls the dice here on 4th down. Rainey's long field goal is 32. That was earlier tonight. Cannon Montgomery is the holder, and this is a 44-yard attempt.
I like the call here.
It would be a new career long. Snap, the hold, the kick. No good.
That's great. And that's a positive sign there for the Mustangs, who was really struggling trying to stop the Golden Hurricane offense. And now, you see the miss here? That inside pressure, they've already had one block tonight. And you can tell kickers start to feel that pressure. They start to know when it's there. And now the pressure is back on Shane Buechele in this offense. They've got to get something going. He's missed fire tonight. They haven't been able to really get their ground game going. Things haven't worked. Who's going to be the hero for them tonight to really be the spark and to get the Mustangs back headed in the right direction?
Now they have brought in TJ McDaniel for the first time. Now the running back who is capable of a big play. And he gets the call right into the teeth of that defense and driven back by Zaven Collins. Redshirt sophomore, wants to be a doctor, pre-med. A high school quarterback. He golfs with the two Tulsa quarterbacks, Zach Smith and Seth Boomer. And he's got some great potential. Dropping 8 again, near sideline. This is brought in by Granson, a gain of 9, a first down.
That's the rhythm right there, and that's where you want to stay.
Now in these spots,
wise decisions, they only rush 3 there, and that's what you have to do, pick them apart. And you've got to do it early when they drop numbers back like that.
Low snap. Buechele to the air, has time all day, and throws it away. And Ahmad, I was about to say, in those spots after a first down, last week against South Florida and earlier this season, it was, hey, hit the pedal harder and go. That was one of the rare times where SMU was able to get into tempo. The rhythm, the tempo, the allegro that you see in this offense normally just hasn't been there tonight. There's an injured Tulsa player. It's Brandon Johnson.
And to your point, I think there's been a few things when we talk about it after the break, but I can say this. Right now, they're being outplayed and outcoached. Tulsa has dialed up the right game plan. They're executing it right, and their players are playing with an extreme amount of confidence.
It looked like he had cramped up. And not in the game here on second down. 10 to go. McDaniel searching for running room. Pushes to the 42. It's 3rd and 6. SMU tonight 2 of 10 on third down.
They're not doing very good. And there's been a few times tonight that Buechele has missed. But these are the plays where if you know, first and foremost, just wear down this defense. You haven't been on the field long enough to even do that. So maintaining drive just helps your defense, and it also allows this defense to get worn down.
Now they'll blitz on the slant. It's Robertson. And he's going to be marked down a yard shy of the marker. We've seen Sonny Dykes go for it on his own half of the field.
They're going for it, and they should.
And it looks like they will go for it. 4th and 1. Granson in motion.
You see him attached like that, typically it is a run.
Proche and Robertson near sideline. McDaniel up the middle. I don't think he got it. And that's a turnover on downs. They'll say first down. Wow.
That was
It looked like the initial spot from the far side.
Hey, listen, we've got a good perch here. That did not look like a first down.
This is a reviewable play.
Wow.
Now this is a reviewable play. I don't see him make that yellow line.
Doesn't matter now.
SMU gets the play off. It will not be reviewed. Downfield shot. Incomplete. Manny Bunch, who has not cut his hair since his junior year of high school, broke it up.
Injured player down on the field. He was looking for Robertson, who's now on the Tulsa sideline. Felt kind of awkwardly when he tried to jump up to catch that pass. They ran a double move trying to get him, an out and up to beat coverage. It's well defended by Bunch.
I was a little surprised they did not review that spot. It was a reviewable play. Again, our yellow line is not exact, but we were watching the far side official, and where he was standing, it appeared to clearly be inside the marker and inside the chain. But once SMU called that play, and the booth either did not call for a review or called for it too late once SMU had snapped the ball.
That was a hometown spot. We're right at the 50-yard line, and I tell you, to me, it appears though they got it.
Next Saturday night in Death Valley game days, going to be there when Florida will take on LSU at Tiger Stadium. 8 Eastern on ESPN. Florida, big win today against Auburn. LSU remains unbeaten. That offense firing on all cylinders. Last 20 meetings between those two, 10 apiece. AP rankings brought to you by Goodyear. Looking at the top 10. Alabama and Clemson both with byes. Ohio State currently leading Michigan State. Auburn, now the only team in that group that lost today. And of course, SMU, first time in the AP poll since 1986. They're losing big at home. Sonny Dykes told us that his message to the team was, yeah, it's a big deal. And everybody is chirping at you and telling you how great you are. And he even used the word bittersweet to be ranked, because he said you build all this momentum, you put a carrot out in front of your team. Now can they stay focused with elevated expectations? And meanwhile, this is big. Robertson still down for SMU, and it looks like they're going to bring out the stretcher for him. This is one of the top receivers in the AAC.
I'll let you know.
A young man who came to SMU from West Virginia, battled some injuries early last year, but was healthier and much more productive in the second half. And he's the deep ball threat, the big play threat in this offense in the vertical game, leading the American Conference in yards.
Hey guys, I'm standing only a couple feet away. I can see him moving his arms, his hands, and he's moved his legs as well as they continue to work on him. As soon as I get more information, I'll let you know.
I hope the young man is okay. Big part of this offense, and he started his career at West Virginia. All the success SMU has had with transfers. The coaching staff said Robertson was the poster child for opening up this coaching staff and even the previous ones to looking at guys from Texas who would come home, and you hope he's okay. Chris said she did see him move. We'll step aside. Athletic staff still attending to Reggie Robertson with 5:22 to go in the third. A good sign just moments ago. Reggie Robertson able to get up. They did not need the stretcher. And he was walking to the locker room under his own power.
That'll mean more minutes for the freshman from North Richland Hills, Rice.
Rashee Rice, who made his first career reception last week. TJ McDaniel into the embrace of Collins. Now you think about that receiver position on the outside. Robertson to the locker room. Judah Bell, who is one of the backup receivers, is out at least a month, according to Sonny Dykes. That's what he told us yesterday. So now number 11, Rashee Rice, lined up at the bottom of your screen. Third down. Low snap. Proche cuts it back toward the field and tackled inside the 35, a gain of 16. 5 catches, 78 yards for Proche.
You also gained confidence there from Buechele in this offense.
Trips to the boundary. Galliard, and a penalty marker is down.
False start, number 83, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Granson guilty. Seven penalties on SMU. And behind the chains again. Against a 3-man rush, Buechele rolling out. He'll tuck and run and gets close to the original line of scrimmage.
The Tulsa secondary. I said it earlier, the MVP for Tulsa right now is this offensive line, but this secondary is a close second with the way they've really handled one of the better wide receiving cores in the American and in one of the country.
McDaniel up the middle, 3rd down. Tulsa's also taken this crowd out of the game. Now they had 20,000 plus, capacity is 32,000. They usually don't draw that well, but there was buzz and anticipation, and the Boulevard was rocking pregame. SMU does not have an offensive touchdown. There has been very little to cheer about for this home crowd. 3rd and 8, likely 4-down territory. Buechele finding Rice, turns around inside the 15. Rice taken down at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, the freshman coming through, and McDaniel is down back at the 32. Actually, that's not McDaniel, that's the right tackle, I believe, Bo Morris, 75. Or Hayden Howardson, excuse me, the left guard.
And SMU is ready to get into their tempo offense as well.
This is an area where SMU does not have much depth, the offensive line.
Yeah, you're right. And then they have to try to manufacture that by cross-training guys to even get that.
They basically use 6 guys. Now Bryant and Dennis will split time at right guard. Other than that, not a whole lot out there. So now Bryant at right guard, Dennis at left guard in Howardton's place. 1st and goal from the 5. McDaniel dragging tacklers. Got a good push from Kobe Bryant, 57. 2nd and goal from the 2.
Yeah, I like McDaniel. And, he comes from South Lake Carroll, a program here in Texas that has a great reputation, but his patience and his playmaking ability are on display.
He gets it again and devoured by Gibson in the backfield.
And that might have been one of those ones, if you're Buechele, you keep it, because you've been handing it off, and at times that hadn't even worked. But this is great defense, and they've just, it's not just about them being outcoached. When I say they're being outplayed, they're making their individual plays. I always try to tell young football players, you may practice 70 plays throughout the week, and you may only affect 10 throughout the course of the game. You've got to make your play, and Tulsa's doing that tonight.
15th play of the drive. Fingers being pointed up front.
False start, number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, that's Dennis, who's now moving over from the right side to the left side after Howardson got nicked up. And again, SMU into the red zone. Now 3rd and goal. They don't trust their kicker. I'd have to imagine with the score as well. This is 4-down territory. You had the ball at the 2 just moments ago. Now you're back at the 10.
The kicker's the only thing that's worked tonight.
4-man rush. Caught by Page, and he's out of bounds at the 1, 4th and goal, and SMU will go for it.
And they also bring their offensive lineman, Hayden Howardson, back into the game.
Kobe Bryant checks out. Dennis slides back over to right guard. Kamen Freeman, the short yardage back, is in the game.
Yeah, but the box is jammed up, and that's what Buechele is trying to do right now, get favorable numbers. So if they do want to run it, it's in their favor.
Proche motions. Buechele will throw, looking for Proche. It's broken up by Robinson, but a flag.
Pass interference, number 9, defense. After this is to the goal line, automatic, 1st down.
He's played so well tonight, Robinson has, and here goes the ISO of this, and this is a tough one, because they are a very aggressive secondary. You see, they don't take steps back.
Right,
and it's that touch before the ball gets there that sometimes you can get away with, but not this time.
So now 1st and goal. Freeman. Gobbled up immediately. 2nd and goal. This Tulsa defense has been sublime tonight against one of the best offenses in the country coming into the game.
Right now, they're putting on a clinic up front, the way they're reestablishing the line of scrimmage. And the 17th play on this drive for SMU, by far their longest drive of the game. And you've got to get points here. They've already missed down here on a 4th down. You've got to come away with a touchdown here.
Freeman looking for the edge, trying to reach it across. They say he was down. They rule him down before that ball came out. To add on to your point, you're now looking at the 18th play of the drive, and not only getting points here, if you don't get a touchdown here, to me, the game's over.
Well, I'm glad they brought in the guy who has the most touchdowns in the country in terms of rushing, Xavier Jones. He hadn't gotten any touches on this drive. This is going to him.
Jones fighting forward and denied. It'll bring up 4th and goal. Collins with another tackle. Quarter number 3 comes to an end. Tulsa holding serve on the goal line. 4th down SMU. SMU begins the 4th quarter with a 4th and goal. It's an 18-play, 72-yard drive that's eaten up 7.5 minutes of clock. This will be the 8th play of the drive, not counting penalties, from 10 yards and in. Wildcat, Freeman tumbles into the end zone. And a 19-play drive ends with a touchdown, the first offensive touchdown of the game for this Mustang football team.
Manish, that play was for points and for pride. They brought in Elijah Chapman, the defensive lineman, and just run behind him. And he almost failed on the attempt there, but that was a good play call. And now if you're this offense, now you've got confidence. But that was for pride, because the way that they've already been stopped on a 4th down inside of their 5, they snatched it back from the Golden Hurricane.
This PAT is good. Now the other side of that, Ahmad, those points came at a great cost, which was time. You're talking about more than 7.5 minutes of clock. And Tulsa's MO defensively is, hey, if that's how you're going to beat us, so be it.
Yeah, and what's working for them? You know, and that, I think that's if you're Sonny Dykes and you're this coaching staff, you're wondering, okay, what do we go to? At this point in the ball game, as a coaching staff, you need to know what is working. And right now, the only thing that has worked is that they were able to finally wear down the Tulsa front, and you kept on, you know, just chugging along. But that was not a dominant offensive drive by any stretch of the imagination.
I get the sense for SMU to complete this comeback, defense or special teams will need at least a big play in this 4th quarter.
Yep.
Roberts will kick it off. Santana and Stokes back deep. 2 undefeated teams lost earlier today, Iowa and Auburn. 16 left, including SMU. Santana from the 5. Cuts it upfield. And tripped up across the 35, a 35-yard return. SportsCenter from LA tonight after UW Stanford. Lyndon Stan have you covered. Herbie with the big takeaways from week 6, plus Twins Yankees and Rays Astros breakdowns of game 2, as well as UFC 243 post-fight coverage. SportsCenter after college football tonight. Zach Smith, the quarterback for Tulsa, part of the quarterback class of 2016. He was actually ranked 1 spot higher than Shane Buechele coming out of high school. Both ESPN 300 prospects. 283 yards passing tonight. They'll hand it off to Shamari Brooks. Ran into a roadblock after a gain of 2.
And that's a good start to this drive because the way that they've attacked them with their rushing attack, they were averaging nearly 6 yards a carry before that play. They've dominated on the ground. And this was a team that was struggling rushing the football, and SMU was known for doing a good job of stopping it.
Tulsa ran for negative 73 yards in the opener against Michigan State. They had issues protecting the quarterback. Zach Smith has not taken a sack today. They'll throw, and he completes to Sam Crawford, a yard shy of the marker. I think of the name Sam Crawford. The baseball fan in me thinks of the great Tigers outfielder, Wahoo Sam Crawford. Out there with Ty Cobb all those years.
Denzel Carter, 6'5", 275. Petersburg, Florida enters the game. They like to run behind him when he is in the ball game.
Brooks. And he picks up a first down, got just enough. Shamari Brooks near another 100-yard gain. He's got 2 on the season. Tulsa now content to milk some clock. To the air. Smith downfield for Stokes. Broken up by Denbo.
And he had to get on his horse to get over here. They were beating coverage. Denbo does a nice job of timing this too. And that could have gone either way. I mean, but the official was right there, and he let him play through the contact. But, man, he had to get on his horse. He was coming. He disguised towards the boundary and then to try to get back over across the hash, showing decent range from Denbo to make that play. Or that might have been the nail in the coffin as Zach Smith taking shots, trying to end this ball game.
Brooks taken down in the backfield by Pono Davis, the senior out of Hawaii, the leader on this SMU defense.
You talk about a time to get a negative play. This is it. And he just persistent, won't go down, and finishes the play. I really love watching him play, and I think he's going to be a great player at the next level. He's the muscle in the middle of that defense. And now you're looking for your playmakers. Who's going to shut it down right here, get your offense back out on the field, and regain the momentum.
And a timeout by SMU. 3rd and 14. Can the Mustangs get the ball back? Big 3rd down after this.
You just stay, voice it.
Vinay Shroff, Ahmad Brooks, Chris Budden, an SMU timeout on 3rd and long. They've been burned by corners covering the wrong guy a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, they've run some rub routes and caught him in zone and blown assignments, and that might have been what the coaching staff saw to call the timeout. Poor usage of a timeout, though. They're going to need it on offense.
SMU will bring 4. Now a 5th comes late. Johnson the catch, and Nelson able to make the stop. A gain of 10. It's 4th down. And Tulsa will likely bring on the punting unit.
Don't be so sure. I mean,
now, if you don't get this, though, if you don't get this, you're now giving SMU an invitation with a short field.
Well, they've done that a couple times tonight and held them to no points, and then they held them to a field goal. We saw that in the best field position they got in the first half. So they do send the unit out, and that's a good stop for the SMU defense. Now the onus is back on this offense that has really sputtered, but finally got some of its mojo back in that last drive.
If I'm Tulsa, I say, hey, drive the field. It took you almost 8 minutes last time. Bennett with a good punt. And the fair catch made by Proche. He was looking for a flag. No kick-catch interference. A 40-yard punt, and SMU has it at the 8. Let's look back with our Buick Drive recap. James Proche coming up with a big reception. Shane Buechele finding a freshman, Rashee Rice. This was a 19-play scoring drive, and again, SMU able to punch it in with Kamen Freeman, but at a huge cost in terms of the clock. And yeah, Tulsa says, okay, can you go 92 yards? How long are you going to take to do it? Tyler Page breaks a tackle and squirts to the 22, a gain of 14.
The defenders there trying to rake the football out, and Page doing a nice job of protecting it and fighting for extra yardage.
Just his 4th catch of the season.
You know what's been working? Quick throws. And that's what's been working. You've got to, when you get into the perimeter, it's got to be quick, or this defense is coming downhill.
On the ground, Xavier Jones with a nice pickup on first down. Remember, SMU lost Reggie Robertson to an injury earlier in this game. He's one of the top receivers in the conference. Jones again to the outside. Got a good block by Proche, and a first down run for Xavier Jones, 14 yards. These receivers do a tremendous job of blocking downfield.
That was a smooth cut, though, to get to the boundary. Woo.
Trips now to the boundary. Proche wrapped up immediately by Green, and flags at the end of the play. It looks like they're going to get Ali Green. That's a costly penalty at this juncture for Tulsa.
Yeah, you're right. Ali Green really providing them some length at 6'3" at the cornerback position.
Dead ball. Personal foul. For 12, defense. Unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Green up the road from Austin, Texas, went to LBJ. And this was a great play if he doesn't get the personal foul here, because he single-handedly prevented them from running their quick game.
Buechele over the middle. Miscommunication with Jones, the running back. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and player just beat protection. And he beat the center there, and Buechele felt that pressure, and he didn't seem comfortable. When we watched him last week, it was his demeanor and his pocket presence that I thought really allowed them to get off to a fresh start and for him to be on the money. This offensive line has to give him a comfortable pocket, and he's got to sit in there and make these throws when you need to so that you can stay on schedule. Now you're back to a 2nd and long. You've missed on first down, and that's been the common theme for the Mustangs tonight.
Buechele started 13 of 13 last week. 16 of 30 today. How about the cuts by Jones? And it sets up a 3rd and about 3. 4-down territory here for SMU.
We asked the coaching staff, what does Jones need to work on? They've been working on his patience, and he's shown that in his last few runs.
Jones again. And the patience, the vision, and the extra burst. He appears to have the first down. I think they're going to say he's just short. So 4th down, less than a yard to go. Granson and Becker both in there, 2 tight ends.
You go in this ace look, it's a run.
Jones. No, that's Buechele. Had everybody fooled and slides ahead for the first down.
That's a bad decision. Safe, and they've been telling him to work on that slide. Last week he had an awkward and ugly slide and slid a little bit late, was indecisive with it. This time here, the perfect figure 4 like you would in baseball, and that was great execution. And SMU finally getting their legs under them as they move down the field again.
Well, we come up on 9 minutes to play. Proche on the screen, gets a block from Rice. And brought down shy of the 30-yard line.
See all the white jerseys in that frame? Tulsa's running to the football. I mean, that's a perimeter play. Yet you've got D linemen, you've got linebackers chasing down the football, and their perimeter players today have won on the edges. The way they've tackled, the way they've covered. And those are plays that keeps a team from popping that big one.
Buechele looking long for Proche. He brings it in! James Proche with one hand!
Hello, top 10. Beautifully thrown ball from Buechele. And a nice job there. It might have been a push, but they were both fighting for the ball. Credit to the officials. But the one-hand catch was outstanding. Great job of getting to that football and getting a touchdown.
Now this is a big extra point. Robledo's kick is good. SMU a couple of touchdowns in this fourth quarter. A little giddy up from the Ponies, showing some fight, and still plenty of time left.
Give me that.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
SMU's mascot, Peruna, a Shetland pony. We got to run with Peruna yesterday. Ahmad, the cowboy, was the best of all of us. I will tip my hat. Chris, that was an adventure, and Peruna gets to go after every touchdown before the game. What they're doing, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, not at all. It wasn't quite as scary as I thought it was going to be, because he starts digging his hoofs into that dirt. You get a little nervous.
He's stallion, and he is funky. I had a lot of fun. And you know, for me, why I won that contest was because of my attire. You can't run with Peruna in some tennis shoes and sneakers, man. You got to have on boots, and I had some Casey's on, and I was doing my thing.
We didn't all grow up in Texas. Hey, thanks to Izzy, Drake, Kelly, Grant,
Thank you
Peyton,
guys,
and the crew there.
It's fun.
Showing us a pretty good time, and Peruna's got some kick. In fact, actually knocked over Bevo, your mascot at Texas. And this kick by SMU out of bounds. So Tulsa has it at the 35-yard line, and Brett Lashley, the offensive coordinator, told us that if SMU is going to win this game, they're going to have to win ugly. They have to be, to use a horse reference, they got to be a mutter. And Tulsa's done a good job mucking this game up a little bit. SMU, it took them 3 quarters. The last couple of drives, they figured it out against this very good Tulsa defense.
Well, and it's in adverse situation is really when you get the chance to figure out who the guy is to your right and your left. And when you're challenged like this by a team that whipped you last year, that was your motivation throughout the offseason. You've been hearing about this. You missed the opportunity to get into a bowl game because they stifled that with their toughness. Now you're staring it right in the face. This is where you can mark that you've improved from last year to this year.
Smith has Stokes, spins free. Stokes to midfield. 15 yards for Keylon Stokes, who's really come on the last few games.
There goes another example of why Tulsa's winning and why the Mustangs aren't. Perimeter players for Tulsa, they drop the ball carriers. You've had some missed tackles for SMU on those perimeters, and they've allowed them to pick up more yardage, and that's the difference. You've got to make your play when you have an opportunity. Now, it is the hardest tackle in football, but they did a great job of that last week.
Taylor. Only a yard. Tulsa has won 4 of the last 5 against SMU, and close games have been the norm of late. The last 3 meetings have been decided by 5 points or less.
And you want to be careful if you're Tulsa's coaching staff. Don't be too conservative here. You're trying to milk the clock, but at this point, get some of your moxie back and your confidence. Take some shots. Make sure that this SMU team knows that you're not scared of these types of moments.
Near sideline, Keenan Johnson spun down in his tracks by Stevens. And now a 3rd down. Is this 4-down territory for Tulsa here with 7 minutes to go?
depends on how well you're believing your offensive line is playing. And I think if I'm the coaching staff, I make this decision after this play, because if we get a little push here, then yeah, you line right back up on that ball and you take it to them. If you don't, you put a foot to it and you make them drive the length of the field to tie this ball game up.
SMU went 92 yards last time it had the ball. Taylor tackled behind the line. It's 4th down. Patrick Nelson, who's been Mr. TFL, gets in the backfield.
I just love this kid, man. He's at the next level. I don't know what he'll play, but he's going to make somebody's roster as a special team demon or something. As his coaching staff is making a decision, he's quick, he's fast, he's got ball skills like a DB. As they're lining back up on the ball, you do not want to jump off sides if you're the Mustangs. Probably a hard count here. Mustangs with numbers jammed in the box, forcing him to throw the football.
And it looks like they'll take the delay. Now that's a situation where you're right. If they get a push on that 3rd down, you start to think now. You're on the road with the lead against a top 25 opponent. This might be the play that wins you the game. But because of the TFL, it gives you pause.
Well, and I think that's how you have to play it. And this is a 4th quarter game. And this is, frankly, when we were talking about the game, I figured it'd come down to this because of the way that both of these teams are made up. But give the Mustangs credit for fighting back in now with an opportunity to drive down here and tie this ball game up.
10 players on the line of scrimmage for SMU. Bennett, the punter. He gets it off. Proche will let it bounce, and it skips into the end zone. 5:31 on the clock. SMU looking to stay unbeaten. They're down 7, 80 yards to go. Game that punctuated a 19-play drive, and then James Proche, a one-handed touchdown grab. He's got 8 catches, 111 yards. SMU 14 points in this 4th quarter. They were down 30-9 entering the 4th. With the ball from their own 20, Page drops it. Shane Buechele 4 out of 6 now in the 4th quarter. He's been much better in the 2nd half today.
And he's done it without Robertson, who's on the sideline in his jersey. And listen, that puts a lot of pressure there on Proche. And if you're Tulsa, don't let that guy beat you. And Buechele, he started out in the first half, 8 of 18, 102 yards, 2 sacks. Since that time, second, 10 of 14, 116 yards, a touchdown, no sacks. He's been a different player.
Nearly intercepted. And there is a penalty marker. Buechele went down. Gibson was there.
Yeah, and Thomas just hopped on his back and tackled him. Those are the types of problems, though, he provides.
Holding, number 71, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
You know, and Gibson, how he really gets after you. He's such a nimble and athletic guy at 6'4", 268, great bend. He'll get low and bend that corner, and he comes extremely fast.
2nd and 20. Buechele over the middle, incomplete, intended for Rice. And this is where you really miss Reggie Robertson, the deep play threat. 3rd and 20 now.
But I'll go back to that play. Rice, who has little experience, instead of him extending that route, he stops. And Buechele threw it to the open space. And that would have been Robertson on that backside. Robertson would have made something happen there. Now you've got inexperience on the perimeter.
Tulsa doesn't blitz a whole lot. You saw Reggie Robinson, the corner for the Golden Hurricane, showing blitz. 3-man rush. Buechele floats it down the sideline, and they're going to get Robinson. It's going to be a 1st down for SMU.
Pass interference, number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Penalties have come at a costly time for the most penalized team in the FBS, Tulsa.
Well, you love Robinson's aggression, and you love the way he attacks and is assertive on the perimeter, but this is not the play you want to make on third down. You've got him hemmed up. There's no need to pull there. You were in great position. He just panicked, and now they've got a fresh set of downs.
That was on 3rd and 20. Little trickeration. Here's Page, high school quarterback, downfield for Rice. There's a flag down back at the 15, a gain of 30.
This might be roughing the passer, and if it is, boy, tack that 15 on. Great play call.
Targeting, number 90, defense. The previous play is under further review.
You're looking at 30 penalty yards gifted by Tulsa to SMU on this drive. They'll look at the last play in the replay booth. A bit of a break for Tulsa. Replay reviewed the targeting call on Jackson player, and they correctly ruled this was not targeting. He hits Page with the shoulder.
Yeah, there's no break here. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That's a clean play. He led with his shoulder, and you know how fired up I get about these targeting calls, but the officials got this one right. I immediately said that was not targeting. And at some point, how does a big man that large stop on a dime? So it was the right call to make, but SMU still with a perfect play call, gets the ball downfield, Page with an excellent throw, and now you're humming. Now with an opportunity to go back and regain some of that pride and confidence.
It also wipes out the penalty. It was no roughing the passer penalty, just targeting. Xavier Jones breaking tackles to the 40. Collins on the stop, 5 yards for Mr. Jones. This drive started at the Mustang 20. Jones swims his way to the 38-yard line. 3rd down. And this is undoubtedly 4-down territory for SMU.
This is interesting because now you've got a lot of options. And sometimes that can clutter your brain as a coordinator, and you get to think, well, I'm going to call this, I'm going to call that. I suggest you keep it simple here. If you've got numbers inside of the box, you run it. If not, try to get it to perimeter on a quick pass and convert.
Buechele looking for Proche, his 9th catch, and good for a 1st down.
And that's what's been working for him, right? The quick passing game. That was something that early in the ball game, they tried to go to corner routes and deeper developing routes, and that wasn't working. Now they've got it cooking.
Freeman comes in to spell Jones. SMU has scored on its last 2 drives. Proche curls back, makes the catch. 10 catches, 128 yards for James Proche, who came in leading the American in receptions.
And that's where you see Buechele's development. I mean, just so calm in the pocket, making good decisions.
2nd and 2. Freeman. No gain. 3rd down.
I'm not so sure if I like the substitution here. You know, they took Jones out, put McDaniel in, put Freeman in, and Jones came back in and he was running with some fire. Now you bring Freeman back in the game. I thought Jones was getting into a rhythm. It's hard when you sometimes are mixing guys around. If you're the Mustangs, you better hope that this pays off if you decide to run here and you give it to Freeman, who's been on the sideline for the last 2 drives, essentially.
2 tight ends. Freeman up the middle. It'll bring up 4th down and 1. And SMU's going to go for it. Jones comes back into the game.
Yeah, that play was perfect. Earlier in the game, you saw him run that. He bounced outside and picked up good yardage. Freeman was headed straight into the teeth of that defense, and they were ready for that.
This could be the ball game. Jones has the first down and more, breaking all the way to the 12-yard line.
That's an exclamation point. That's how you run if you're a senior. Representing Spring, Texas as they get back up on the ball in a hurry-up offense.
And a timeout by Tulsa.
I mean, I'm just saying. Here it is, you got a guy who leads the nation in rushing touchdowns. There was a few times inside of the 5, he's not in the game. I mean, look, I might be crazy, but I know when a guy has a nose for the end zone. And do you see the oomph and the power and the persistence he's running with right now? He was not going to be stopped, and that's what you needed to play before. But Jones back in his ball game, and if I'm the coaching staff, he doesn't see the sideline again until we score or get stopped.
SMU did not have an offensive touchdown before the fourth quarter. Tulsa led 30-9. The first play of the fourth quarter was a Caven Freeman touchdown on fourth down. That capped a 19-play drive. SMU got it back, went 92 yards for a score. This drive began at the Mustang 20. First down, Jones able to find a seam, and he's down to the 5-yard line, 2nd and 2. And I know Freeman's the short yardage guy, Ahmad. I don't take Jones out of this ball game.
You keep feeding him this rock right now, and you make them stop him.
Jones again. He's going to be close. It'll bring up 3rd down.
If you're this offensive line, these are the moments you live for. Push.
Jones once more. Cannon with a huge play back at the 5, and it's 4th down. Diamond Cannon.
Woo-wee. He almost squirted out, but Cannon's like, nah, not happening. He tried to keep this play alive. That's an excellent individual effort if you're Tulsa.
14th play of the drive. 1:15 to go. 4th down and 2.
Well, they're in man-to-man coverage, and they're jamming numbers in the box.
And a timeout. Sonny Dykes, Rhett Lashley will talk this over. What's the call here, Ahmad, on 4th and 2?
I still think a run is something that you can still do. However, when they're playing this man-to-man and they're pressing, they're taking away your perimeter game, your quick game at that. It might be a decision here where, listen, Shane Buechele really caught them off guard earlier when he pulled the ball and was wide open. Nobody even expected it. I've also seen them, they've had success where they go in an empty set, they move the back out, get favorable numbers inside the box, and run a designed quarterback draw. Maybe that's a time for you to run something like that to try to catch the defense off guard. One thing you want to do, though, is get favorable numbers, or you want to find your matchup. It's sad to see Robertson on the sideline because he's one of your best man beaters, and now Proche gets the pressure of being the guy that's going to have to win that matchup to get open.
Proche lined up at the bottom of your screen.
This looks like a run.
Buechele from under center. Toss to Jones. Angling toward the end zone. Touchdown, Xavier Jones. And SMU a PAT from tying this game. The Mustangs have missed 7 extra points this season, including one today. Robledo for the tie. Reggie Robinson, 4 blocked kicks for Tulsa. Robinson flying off the corner. The PAT is good, and SMU has roared all the way back from down 21 when this quarter began.
Brilliant play call from Rhett Lashley. You'd think this is going right up the gut. You put Granson right there, it puts him one-on-one with their best player, who is a man amongst boys, or pardon me, Burnett, who's quick enough to make this play. But I'm telling you, there's something about Jones. This guy has a nose for the end zone. I'm glad they made that substitution, and you see why. He won his individual matchup on a great play call, And now you're back in it. Now you've got the momentum. Now you are in a position right now to really go back and prove just how much you've improved from one year to the next.
A lot of fans left. They did. To be frank, we did expect a bigger crowd than what showed up, but you can understand it too. Now, success for SMU has been a slow build for more than 3 decades. This is the best team they've had since the crippling death penalty. And this fourth quarter speaks in the imperative to what this team is about. Sonny Dykes told us he used to recruit to this system and tell guys, listen, you won't get hit in practice. They do the Oklahoma drill at SMU now. There is a toughness quotient. They were getting beat up all over the field for 3 quarters by Tulsa.
And they've confronted that bully this year.
Stokes, 2 receiving touchdowns today. The ball comes out at the end. Was he down? They say he was down. It will be Tulsa ball at the 25. Now, one official says it's SMU ball. They'll talk about it.
You've got to review this.
It is a reviewable play with an immediate recovery in the aftermath of a fumble.
The ruling on the field, the player was down before the ball came out. The previous play is under further review.
Now, special teams proved costly earlier for SMU when they didn't field a kickoff and Tulsa wound up with it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's definitely that's
I think that elbow
Tulsa ball,
is down, and then that ball comes out. And his knee may have been down too.
I respect the officials here, though, because you've got to go and review this. And he's reaching out there. The ground cannot cause a fumble. And so I think this is going to be awarded back to the Golden Hurricane.
You brought up a good point earlier in this quarter when Tulsa took its foot off the gas, and you said you got to be careful getting conservative too early. That seemed to get this offense out of sync.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Tulsa.
Yeah, and to your point, you're right. And now look where you're at, okay? Because SMU in the fourth quarter, 21 points. Cha-ching, 154 total yards. They are on fire. And so if you're Tulsa now, what do you do? The one thing that I will say, I did talk about a timeout that SMU made on defense that I thought really hurt them. Will that timeout come back and really bite them? That's my question, because this defense right now is playing with a lot of confidence. Can they do it one more time?
4-man twist by SMU. Smith sacked for the first time today. Turner Cox tripped him up. And a timeout by Tulsa, 44 seconds to go.
That's a great individual effort, because if he doesn't make that play, he gave up contain on that second move by going back underneath the tackle, but he comes back out showing great heart and effort to complete that play.
I got to give a lot of credit to this Tulsa offensive line. We wondered how they would stand up against an SMU defense that came in leading the nation in sacks. That was only the first sack, and now that was more on Smith. He held on to the ball too long.
Yeah, and he's athletic enough to buy time there. You know, that he didn't even get a full body on him. That you've got to just run through, especially when you're as big as he is. He's 6'3", 224. I mean, he's man enough to not get tackled there.
Zach Smith, the Baylor transfer, once out-dueled Baker Mayfield. 321 yards passing, 3 TDs. He has been intercepted 3 times.
On the play clock. I'm not sure what they're looking for, but they were just trying to get into the right play, it appeared.
High snap, Brooks. Brought down by Nelson. 3rd and 9. The clock continues to run. SMU has a timeout. And I think Tulsa may just let this run, and we could be playing some bonus football on the hilltop.
Well, if we do, one thing for sure, the Mustangs have the momentum. 21 points in the fourth quarter, defense making key and critical stops.
Overtime on the Boulevard. SMU down 21 to begin the fourth quarter. They tied at 30. We head to OT. It's been a wild one in the American Conference. Saturday night in Dallas, SMU playing as a ranked team for the first time since 1986. And for 3 quarters, this was all Tulsa.
Yeah, well, frankly, they started off slow, but then they started finding their momentum. And I thought they did a great job of making the plays, but then SMU just would not quit. And they made some good decisions, made some key plays, and really found their juice and their momentum. One of the biggest ones there from Proche. Excellent play call from the OC, getting them in the end zone. They've got the momentum. And now the question is,
SMU won the toss. They elect to go on defense first. Something to consider, Ahmad. Both teams have had kicking issues. SMU has missed 7 extra points, 1 today. Tulsa had a PAT blocked, and they missed a field goal. How does that impact how you call offense when you have to go 25 yards?
Well, it's scary because now the game is literally on the line on a kick. I will say the traded mixed extra points, they cancel each other out. Now it's about playing. But here's what you're hoping if you're SMU. They scored 21 points, and then their defense held Tulsa in the fourth quarter to 0 points. So you're hoping those are scores, and you don't even have to trot your kicker out there. And just from watching the 2 sidelines during this time, Tulsa had all the juice. Now it's on the SMU sideline. Their players are hyped, they're involved. Guys are hyped up, coaches are jumping around, running around. Let's play some ball for all the marbles here.
Smith on first down, incomplete, broken up by Clemens in the direction of Stokes.
They have not defended that well, and I'm talking about SMU. The quick perimeter game, they've gotten there, but they've missed their play. Great job there from Clemens. I really like this kid when I watch him on film. Very instinctual, great out of his break. He's a playmaker, tied for the lead coming into this game in interceptions in the country. Here's the chess match between these 2 coaches.
Play clock at 5. Smith to the air. Downfield, caught by Stokes. Bouncing off defenders before McBride takes him down. 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Great patience there from Zach Smith.
Stokes limping off the field. He's over 100 yards for the 3rd time in his last 6 games, going back to last year.
And Denbo coming off the field after delivering that blow. An awkward kind of position where he hit him at, but great catch. Now you're rolling first down inside of your 10-yard line. It's hard to score down here, though, because that back line acts as a 12th defender, limited space to operate.
End zone incomplete. Intended for Crawford. Armani Johnson, the coverage. Johnson, 2 interceptions tonight.
I just like his swag. I like his confidence. And to play on that island, listen, you can't be scared. And and they always say you got to have a short memory. When you give up a big play, you got to get back out there and play well, because they're going to come at you again when they see that. Johnson has played well, just a sophomore from Missouri City, And tonight he's earned the spot of being called the best defender in the secondary for the Mustangs.
Incomplete for Josh Johnson. And it's third down. Cromartie on the coverage.
I'm not sure what Zach Smith was waiting on this ball. He saw it and recognized it early. It just took him a while to throw that. And I don't know if they were trying to catch Cromartie off guard and put him down on a deeper development route with a double move behind it. But it seemed like he just didn't throw that ball on time. And now you've got a third down. And here's where it gets you're in the nitty-gritty.
Stokes back into the game in the slot at the top of your screen. He's got 2 receiving touchdowns on the night.
They like out-breaking routes when they come in and get closer to the line.
Here's the pressure. Smith. Johnson holds on for a touchdown. Josh Johnson has given Tulsa the lead.
Tulsa with a blow. And I said it. They like out-breaking routes when they come into the line of scrimmage. And both receivers run out-breaking routes. They caught Cromartie in a tough position. Here's the thing. He's a freshman. Now, if you're a veteran, if you're a senior, you see that formation and you're now reading what's about to happen. I knew it was happening. The coaching staff knew it was happening. Yet he still gets beat on the out route.
A timeout by SMU before the extra point. And what do you think this timeout could be about?
I really don't know. I mean...
Hey guys, SMU believes Tulsa had a delay of game, so that's why Sonny went to call the timeout.
That would be interesting.
Sonny Dykes has not been happy with the officials. And there's the play clock. Wow.
Oh yeah. He's right. Sonny Dykes is about to lose his mind. I mean, he's been on the officials all day today, and they're showing the replay here in the stadium, and all the fans, and now Sonny, he has totally checked out of the reservation. I mean, he's already given his team a 15-yard penalty for sideline violation, but he is fired up, and rightfully so. It appeared from what we have is that the play clock had ran out, which would negate that play, and this would be a totally different ball game.
And you can't review that.
Wow.
Point after by Rainey is good. Now, Sonny Dykes has been heated with the officials all evening. It went back to a call in the very first quarter, and he was flagged for unsportsmanlike.
And I thought he was right on that call.
He was right on that call.
He's just been on him ever since, and he's still on this sideline, and he's getting after it. You see the get back coach there trying to control him, but there is no controlling Sonny Dykes now because, listen, if your offense doesn't score here now, I guarantee you he will be complaining to the league office on Monday, tomorrow, not Monday. He won't wait because it certainly appeared from our vantage point that the play clock had run out.
SMU now with the football, and they need a touchdown.
And they also need to calm down. You've got to check out of that play, focus now on your offensive unit. They've got the momentum right now, and they're in a good rhythm. Just punch it in.
The Mustangs have scored on 3 straight drives. Xavier Jones, no gain.
Yeah, I have a feeling if they're going to win in this drive, it's going to come on Buechele's back, whether he keeps the football, whether he makes a big throw. Buechele right now, I believe, is going to be the catalyst for them to score here.
Low snap. Buechele flips it toward the sideline. It's caught by Rice. Inside the 20, it sets up 3rd, and let's call it 4.
It's a good decision there, you know, and now you're back in a situation where if you want to run the football here, you can. However, it just depends on, they have stacked the box. Tulsa's defense coordinator, he's going all in. He's got his guys on the perimeter in man-to-man situations, forcing them to make a play.
You got 2 downs here. Buechele looking for 6. Incomplete for Proche. Covered well by Robinson, and now it's 4th down, and SMU has come back in this game on the strength of 4th down conversions. 5 of 6 tonight.
I'd like to see him go here with 2 hands. I know he's got a top 10 play already in the bag, but go with 2 hands there. I mean, the game's on the line, and here's where you know you don't know what to call. But what I would do is I'd put it in the hands of Buechele, and I mean it. It's going to come down to his arm because of the way that they're playing inside of the box. And on the perimeter, you've got to win your one-on-one matchup.
This is the ball game. Rice, the freshman, 1st down and more. How about Rashee Rice stepping in for the injured Reggie Robertson?
That gives him great confidence. Now as they're back up on the ball, tempo. Now who do you give the ball to? Everybody in the stadium should know it's going to number 5.
Jones broke the initial tackle. Touchdown, Xavier Jones. And now it comes down to a PAT. And Robledo is trotting out there, so no 2-point conversion for Sonny Dykes.
What an answer from SMU. And Buechele, I could just tell by the way they were playing it, right? When you put those numbers in the box, they were daring Buechele to beat them, and he made key throws to get them into the end zone.
7 missed extra points on the season for SMU. 3 by Robledo. It's up, it's good, and we have double overtime.
Well, let's play ball. Let's play ball.
Another 4th down conversion for SMU. And Xavier Jones, after the conversion, able to punch it in.
He just does a nice job of being determined. He broke 3 tackles on that play. 4 if you talk about the last hand they got in there. Just a very determined runner when it comes to this. And this is why I was so confused why he wasn't in the ball game earlier. When you sputtered inside of the 5, he's the guy, right? And he's now proven that I can handle that type of pressure. He wants to do it. And Sonny Dykes and his staff corrected that coaching mistake and had him in the ball game, and it paid off for him.
Jones, until tonight, never had carried the ball more than 20 times in a game.
Yep.
24 carries tonight. So you may think, all right, is he that workhorse back that you can give it to 20-plus times? I tell you what, 4th quarter down the stretch, he's made big play after big play, and when he's been in the game, SMU has been at its best. 4 straight touchdown drives now for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and you also have to give some credit to this SMU offensive line, because last week they totally annihilated the USF front. They came back out here today, and unfortunately the Golden Hurricane, they ate their lunch. But they've come back out, they found their groove and their toughness, and have provided some holes from this young man. But like I said, he was contact. Those were yards after contact on that score. He made that play happen, Jones did, and now you're staring your undefeated season in the face.
If you are just joining us, this game appeared to be over. It was 30-9 at one point. 30-9 entering the 4th quarter. First play of the 4th quarter, SMU scores to cap a 19-play drive. Then successive 92- and 80-yard touchdown drives. Multiple 4th down conversions in the 4th quarter.
And you know what's also happening? Fans are coming back into the stadium. You can literally see people are coming back. I don't know if they were tailgating on the outside, but they're filing back in here for the finish.
I tell you what, the bandwagon has plenty of room. They've branded themselves as Dallas's team. And back on offense to start overtime number 2. Jones to the outside. Slips inside the 20.
They've been preaching patience with him, and it's paying off. Because he has not rushed today. He's seeing everything, the way that the defense is flowing, and he's been timely in his cuts, whether it's been a cutback or a decisive jump cut to get outside and to beat the defense.
His 26th carry. The ball comes out. Tulsa has it. Recovered by Cannon.
That might have been the ground.
Ruled a fumble on the field.
Here goes the replay.
Manny Bunch.
That ball's out. That's a fumble.
Ball is out. That's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
And now Tulsa just needs a field goal to win the game, and the Golden Hurricane would score their first win against a ranked team since 2010.
And listen, that might be the play of the game if you're Bunch. That was intentional. He targeted the football and really tries to punch it out there, and he gets to it. And for Jones just being so determined, he's really turned it on here in the latter part of this game. What a costly fumble. Now, even with the kicking woes, for Tulsa, you've now put your team in a tough spot to come back and win this game.
Tulsa will start by rule at the 25-yard line, needing a field goal to come up with a road win against a top 25 team. Last 3 games in this series have been decided by 5 points or less. Brooks on first down, ambushed by Nelson in the backfield.
And the question resurfaces. Do you stay conservative, try to keep running, and set it up for a field goal opportunity to win the game? Or do you take a shot? Because SMU is daring you to throw the football and beat them on the perimeter. Much like Tulsa, they're jamming numbers inside of the box saying, beat me with the pass.
Rainey's long field goal is 32. Earlier tonight, a redshirt freshman walk-on kicker. Smith toward the end zone, broken up. Armani Johnson with 2 picks tonight with a big PBU, and it's 3rd down and 11.
That is textbook. I mean, I'm serious. Like, he's in perfect prime position. He climbs the ladder, gets on top, perfect time to turn your hand around, and then bats the ball down. That takes great athleticism, great awareness, and Johnson is having the game of his life tonight. And Tulsa took the shot. You know, that was the predicament. They took the shot. It didn't work out for him. Now, I think you've got to put it on Zach Smith's arm.
And we get a timeout.
The play clock was about to run down, and we've already saw what happened the first time with that, where it appeared as though the play clock had run down when they were able to score the first overtime.
So now on 3rd and 11, the ball's at the 26. For Rainey, this would be a long field goal attempt. We were told if it came down to a long kick, maybe 45 plus, you could see Zach Long, who's the kickoff specialist. Long has never attempted a field goal in his collegiate career. So, do you maybe play this to set up a more manageable field goal attempt, or are you shooting for the sticks in a first down?
It's the million-dollar question, but I think what's even more important than that is, are they going to block people? Because the reality of it is they've had some leaks and some holes really emerge in the middle of their protection. And you see it here. I mean, they're on top of it. That time, they get the block. You've got to make sure that your kicker at least gets an opportunity. So, for me, I think you're right. You could try to manage it, but at the same time, you still got to execute.
Smith will go to the air. Incomplete. The pressure was coming. He just threw it away. And now the field goal unit will come on.
They brought the pressure there. And Smith, he felt it. And the wide receiver shortens his route on this side. And now you're back here to special teams.
It's all on the leg of the redshirt freshman walk-on, Jacob Rainey. He missed from 44 today. This is from 43. Career long, 32.
I call a timeout here if I'm Sonny Dykes.
Montgomery to hold.
Take it.
And with the play clock at 2, Sonny Dykes will let the walk-on think about it for a little longer.
Yeah, ice the kicker. And what you want him to do is get in his head about this kick. You want him to be thinking, okay, of all the technique and all that other stuff, and just forget it's football, and he's done this 1,000 times. Now, on the flip side, he doesn't have necessarily the confidence anyway, so let's just see what plays out, but I think that was an excellent usage of time out there from Sonny Dykes, and wow, this has been a fun game here in the second half.
It turned into one in the fourth quarter. The biggest kick of Rainey's career. Adam Higuera will be the long snapper. Cannon Montgomery to hold. 43 for the win. Kick is up. No good! And Rainey is down.
Wow. He narrowly misses. Oh my goodness.
Robert Hayes Jr. and Rainey just trips over him.
He trips over him. He flopped. He's trying to get it there. He knew it wasn't going in. Oh my goodness.
We have triple overtime. Tulsa seeking the upset. SMU looking to go to 6-0. We play on. Well, the good news for these teams as we get ready for overtime number 3 is on a touchdown, you now have to go for a 2-point conversion. Jacob Rainey, who's missed 2 field goals today, including what would have been the game winner moments ago, went down after the play. He was being worked on the sideline, and Zach Long was warming up in case Tulsa has a field goal attempt. Triple overtime after Tulsa led by 21 at the start of the fourth quarter.
And you wonder who's going to go in at running back. You know, Jones has had the hot hand in it, but who's going to be the guy back there? It looks like the freshman Bentley's out there in the huddle. We'll see what happens.
Ulysses Bentley. Only 5 carries.
See Freeman out there as well.
Here are the overtime rules. Each team gets 1 possession from the opponent's 25-yard line through the first 4 overtimes. If we do go to 5 overtimes, the new rule this year, you start at the 3-yard line, and you got to go for a 2-point conversion.
I like it.
So we're not there yet. We're still in overtime number 3, where now a touchdown necessitates a 2-point conversion. Of course, you can still kick a field goal. It'll be Tulsa ball from the 25 to start. SMU will have it second. Both teams get a possession. Zach Smith, 346 yards passing today. 4 TDs. He's thrown it 3 times. Neither team scored in the second overtime. SMU fumbled it away. Tulsa missed a field goal. Shamari Brooks did not get far.
It's a nice job there from the defense. They opted for a 3-man front. 2 linebackers, and that inside of the box, that's 5-on-5. 5 offensive linemen versus 5 Mustangs, and SMU won.
Smith standing in the pocket, nearly intercepted. Miscommunication with his receiver. The ball was thrown well behind him. And Armani Johnson, if his hands were a little longer, maybe that's interception number 3.
This kid has grown up. I mean, once again, great coverage and great awareness. He turned around at the right time and almost made his 3rd interception of the game. 3rd and long. They came with the pressure last time. What do you do here? Do you jam up those passing windows, or do you bring the heat? 4-man rush is what I would do, and I'd make him find a window to beat me.
And you've got a kicker, too, whose confidence is shot right now.
Good point.
Smith moving to his right, chased by Gary, throwing end zone, incomplete. Wanted Stokes. And it's 4th down. And does Tulsa bring the kicking team back on?
Great job.
I don't
there
think
from
you
Smith.
have a choice. I think you got to kick it.
Yeah, but great job of Smith of even buying him that chance there on 3rd down. And now, yes, you do come to kick.
And they will trot out Zach Long. He's been the kickoff specialist. A junior who is attempting his first career field goal in triple overtime on the road against a top 25 team. From 42. And Long missed it. 3 missed field goals and a PAT that was blocked for Tulsa tonight.
Tell me special team doesn't matter. Okay? Now, I'm listening to anybody that thinks that. It is the 3rd phase of the game, and it's been wacky tonight for both teams. But who will make the play? Who's going to be, if you're this SMU offense, I don't even put it on the foot of my kicker. Literally, you go down, you drive down here, and you score.
SMU is 6 of 7 on 4th down tonight.
Wow.
So now Sonny Dykes, we'll see how it plays out. I think if it is 4th and anything more than, I would say 3. Anything more than 3.
You roll the dice.
You might kick it. Less than that, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Mustangs go for it. But
Jones back out on the field after that costly fumble. Can the senior make it right?
a career high 26 carries. Proche, 10 catches in the slot. Rashee Rice at the bottom of your screen. He subbed in for the injured Reggie Robertson. Buechele looking for Proche, who has it? Incomplete. The catch was made out of bounds.
Wow. Woo. Buechele going for ball game here. This is a route that he did connect on earlier. That foot's in. I think this is a touchdown. I think this is a touchdown. I think ball game is over. Proche.
They will look at this.
Wow.
The ruling on the field, it's an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
And they've done this for Buechele all season long. He had control. When he went down, he had control. Wow. Unbelievable. And you thought his one-handed grab might make SportsCenter top 10. He may have 2 plays.
Foot's in.
You know, the deciding factor for me is watch the awareness. This is how I know he has the football. He's looking to see where that foot is going to land. He's got control of the football.
And he completes the catch. Catch, foot is in bounds, and then did he complete the process?
He has it there. I mean,
and that's what they're going to check, that last part.
Well, the angle we had before this was perfect because you could see the ball over the top.
I think you're right. This
Watch
is going to be
angle.
overturned.
He has control of the football. I think that's ball game.
After further review, receiver possessed the ball, got a foot down in bounds, maintained control through the ground, touchdown, ball game's over.
Pandemonium. Oh, man.
You get the sense there's a little magic on the hilltop this year?
Absolutely. If you're Sonny Dykes, you're proud of your team right now. You've got a lot of coaching and teachable moments in the first half, but the fight, the heart, the effort, outstanding.
A year ago, Tulsa ripped SMU's heart out. beating the Mustangs in the regular season finale to deny SMU a trip to the postseason. The Mustangs now get bowl eligibility against Tulsa, come back from 21 down to begin the fourth quarter, and they win it in triple overtime, and 2 sensational catches by James Proche, including the game winner. Chris with Coach.
Coach, how do you begin to describe this game?
Well, it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Got to give our guys credit for hanging in there. Got down 21. We really struggled most of the night to do much offensively, but they just kept playing. We made some plays. We were pretty opportunistic, and just ball bounced our way at the end.
How were you able to get your offense going, as you said, down 3 touchdowns? We watched in the first half, and Buechele kind of struggled to get things going, and then all of a sudden it just clicked. What changed?
It just seemed like we were off a little bit for the first half. I'm not quite sure why. It just seemed like our rhythm was off a little bit. We just weren't quite executing like we normally do, and so, you got to give him credit, though. He gathered himself at halftime, and he really came out second half, made some big throws.
What's it like to be a part of this as fans rush the field and you guys enjoy an undefeated season so far?
Yeah, it's good for our players. Really happy for these guys. They've worked hard, and, we showed a lot of spirit tonight, just hanging in there and figuring out a way to get it done. So proud of these guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
There will be critics who say, why are you rushing the field? But they have not had a lot to cheer about on this campus about football in a long time. Take a look at tonight's best performer, brought to you by AT&T. James Proche, 11 catches, 153 yards, 2 TDs, including the game winner. Both his touchdown grabs, SportsCenter top 10 worthy. They got to live this one up on the hilltop, because the last time SMU football was 6-0, Eric Dickerson and Craig James were in the backfield. That was 1982. The Mustangs bowl eligible. They can dream big on the boulevard in 2019.